about now? Is it better? Is it better? I unplugged the mic and plugged it back again. Sometimes that helps. Can you hear me now? No? Wait, really? Just a little. Alright. Let me try something else. What did you update? Nothing actually. I didn't update anything. Let me try it again. Okay. Is it better? Check OBS mic sound. Everything seems to be fine. Everything's normal. That's weird. There's another alternative I can do. Where I use voice meter to increase my audio artificially, I suppose. Is there volume down on your mic itself? No, there isn't. It's weird. I actually have no idea why this is on this because I usually don't change anything. What if I increase my volume? Yes. No, it does nothing. Never mind. How about this? Can I increase my OBS artificially? I wonder. Connection's not reliable. Let me see. Usually I'm plugging it. For some reason this time, it's not fixing the issue. When I decrypt OBS online. With more than one mic? No, only have one. But that could be it actually. Sometimes there's a different mic even though I only have one mic. So let me check that. Alright, what about now? Is it the same? Is it the same now? I think it's the same. At least OBS that tells me it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. There's nothing else, nothing is wrong. Maybe I should restart stream, that could help. Could potentially help. Okay, what about now? No, I think it's the same. It's pretty much the same. Alright. I think I'm gonna restart stream then. It's easier that way. I don't know what's different right now. It's not the same? Wait, it's not? Oh wait, is it alright now? Is it alright now? It's back? Okay. That's good. Alright, there we go. Okay. I honestly have no idea what I did, but somehow it did. Can't argue with the results. Alright. We can actually proceed as normal. Great. Anyways, like I was saying, I didn't actually play as much as I said I would, but I did play a little bit, mostly to grind the cosplays, because I want to see if I can unlock every single cosplay. So I've unlocked all the stage 1 cosplays, plus Matsuri. I did not go further in stage 2 because I wanted to fight those bosses by myself. I did fight some new bosses by accident, but I did not beat them. So it's all good. You actually will be able to see them over here. Who did I encounter? Let me show you. While I was trying to grind Matsuri's cosplays, I ended up finding Pekora randomly. I did not beat her, so we'll have to beat her today. I also found Nenichi, who was a mid-boss. She's not an actual final boss, she's a mid-boss. So we're gonna have to fight her anyways today. And I also encountered Lami, who I did not beat either. So yeah, there's a lot of bosses we need to beat. As for Luna, I practiced. I practiced in the training mode. I did not beat the actual stage, but I did practice in the training mode, and I finally managed to beat her in training. It's hard. My original plan of using AoE scrolls against her didn't work, so I ended up having to do it the old-fashioned way of just dodging things. But yeah, let's see. I got some new shot types. I tried them all. I had enough currency to get the Nene shot type. It's cool, has like a small AoE effect, but I really do just like Pekora's shot type the most. I also have Luna's shot type, which is also interesting because it can stack attack debuffs on the enemy. I feel like this is going to be useful in certain boss fights. Other than that, I got some scrolls that I haven't tried yet, actually. As I've been using mostly healing scrolls. I did try Donchan. He's a Pekora relic that just increases defense. Actually huge, because the damage reduction is noticeable. I can survive more, and with my usual healing build, allows me to just stay in the fight for so long. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be using the healing build again. Alright, Kirin Horn. What else? I was using the Shepherd Harp. But with the Pekora shot type, she actually doesn't have energy issues. So I might go with the Protagonist Antenna. It's useful. Or maybe, yeah, the Strawberry Shaved Ice? No. Oh, there you go. The Gyudon. Every time I use a scroll, I get healing. So whenever I use healing scrolls, I get extra healing on top. And Donchan. And as for my scrolls, I think I'll leave them as they are. I use the usual simple stealing scroll because it's the best one to farm for the materials I need to unlock the cosplays. And yeah, I think I'll leave it as is. What mic did you use? I'm using the same mic as always. I actually have no idea what I did to make it work, but it worked somehow. Alright, we're ready. Let's see. Who are we going to fight today? I guess let's try and start by finishing the city bosses, which it's only Pekora and Ollie left. I know Ollie is there. So let's fight Pekora. Go, go, Peko-chan! I could also just skip there. Nah, it's fine. I'll go like this. I might be a little bit rusty, because I haven't practiced today. What model? I have an AT 2020. You know, the usual. It's the one that tends to be pretty much recommended. Very good for its price. Nice and affordable. Pretty good. A lot of professionals use it too. Because it tends to be all you need, really. There are better ones, but it's not like you really need any better. Ouch. Yeah, I'm definitely a bit rusty. I usually parry the Miofas, I mean. Right. This should be a walk in the park, or a walk in the forest, I suppose. Well, okay. I need to stop being so confident. That's the moment I start getting destroyed. As always. And there we go. The stage 1 bosses are just fine by me right now. Especially the ones in the forest, I feel like I have an easier time fighting them. Alright. There we go. So my plan is all about stacking as much heat as possible so that I can use my heals whenever it's necessary. But I'm gonna avoid using the heals against regular enemies since the Kirin Horn gives me a chance to heal whenever I defeat enemies. There we go. Why did I never get recommended this mic when I was buying my mic? Really? This one tends to be the one that gets recommended all the time. I think there's a new model made by the same company. But the AT2020 is still like pretty good. There we go. I know a bunch of voice actors that use this one, for example. And a lot of streamers use this one as well. Alright. There we go. Yes, sir! The FPS is abysmal in this game right now. Oh. Don't tell me all my settings got changed for some reason. Even though I didn't change anything. Could also be my connection. My connection right now wasn't doing too good. Could simply be that. Yeah, my connection is not the best right now for some reason. It just randomly does that. Let's just say that the ISP doesn't do a good job. It's a bit infamous. Stream is laggy? Okay, then it's definitely an internet connection issue on my part. Can't really do anything, unfortunately. It just sometimes does that. There's this. It's been kind of an issue with the ISPs here in Portugal. They, for some reason, most of them have been really bad. Alright. Neo. But if the audio is fine, at least that's a silver lining, I suppose. But yeah, some days are good, some days are bad. I guess today we rolled, we willow rolled. But one day I'll have to do something about this bad internet. Because it's really frustrating to do something and then randomly, aha, internet is bad right now. And it's not your fault at all. Maybe changing ISPs might be the best. Who knows? I guess I'm gonna use this. Alright, this one is always tricky. I always struggle against this spell card. I don't like spell cards that restrict my movement so much. Ah, goddammit. Ah, goddammit, I went against the walls. Could also be the bitrate. Could be, but I didn't change bitrate as of late. I'm using the same bitrate as I use always. Whoa, I died. Well, never mind. I suck now. I'm really rusty. I really don't want to use a rematch though. I'll use it a rematch. But yeah, I am very rusty, I suppose. Come on, Mio is not difficult. I usually can beat Mio just fine. I'm perhaps too distracted. But I do notice that my OBS tells me that the connection is on the red. So it's definitely internet connections issues. If it was bitrate, we would have problems in the same streams, exactly. The previous streams were fine, so it's not bitrate. It's the internet, guys. It's the internet. My OBS is in the red. But again, I can't really do anything. It's just how it is. Sometimes the internet gets bad randomly. It's a problem that tends to happen not just to me, but other like Portuguese streamers. Restart the router? I could do that. But if it's an ISP issue, it's not gonna really help. Replace the router. We replaced this router 3 times now. This is like the 4th router we have in here. And it's always the same issue. So again, it's not the router issue either. It's literally the ISP. Today was a bad day, I suppose. We rolled bad RNG today. Well, let's hope it gets better. Sometimes it also randomly gets better. But you guys can hear me fine, right? From what you told me. Which is weird why the audio is doing good now. Because surely if it was lagging, the audio would also be, you know, not doing too good. Weird. Alright, there we go. Yeah, audio is fine, image is freezing. Okay, okay. I guess that's my silver lining, is that the audio is at least doing good. I guess this can become a radio show now. So, since now we are a radio, let's see, what can we talk about, I suppose? Oh yeah, Advent outfits. The new Advent outfits are pretty cool. My favorite one is definitely Bijou. Bijou's is very toony, I love it. It looks great. I decided to go back and even replace some of the skills I gave her in Nobunaga's Ambition to reflect her sword vibe, you know, her katana vibe. So I gave her Enlightened Blade. It reflects her toony self. I really like the Bijou one. You know, it was meant to be a casual outfit, but she just went full edgelord, and I love it. I'm all for it. Other than that, the other outfits are also really good. Again, Whole Life tends to have really good outfits in general. So the standards are already pretty high. Another one I really like is Fuwawa's. I really enjoy Fuwawa's, it's just really stylish. I like it a lot. Oh boy, oh boy, there we go. What else? Homofest is coming. That's gonna be pretty cool. Have fun to everyone who's going. I'd love to go one day. Okay, there we go, we beat Neo. But it's not the first time we beat Neo. Any big upcoming events outside of the Homofest coming up? I have a theory that we might see the second Valorant V Saigyu coming soon. If Shibuya Hall does another one, that is. Because he did one last year. Last year we had 2 V Saigyu tournaments. We had the Valorant V Saigyu, it was the first Valorant V Saigyu, and we had the 6th Apex V Saigyu. The Valorant V Saigyu should happen sometime at the beginning of the year, if we have one, that is. Should I use this one? No, I don't have any Gen 0 equipments. What about the Peaches of Immortality? Oh, this is good, yeah. Increase heal upon clearing enemy wave or boss phase. Yeah, there we go. This is from Nenichi. Okay, it's gonna be Women's Day. Oh, we're busy. Alright, we got here, right. This is where Pekora is. From the little that I fought against Pekora, she relies a lot on brute force, which is pretty much in character for Pekora. Pekora is a type that... Damn, why am I taking so much damage from these guys? What the hell? I shouldn't be hit so much. Pekora likes to brute force her way through problems, usually. Usually, if there's like anything that's broken in any game, she likes to go for that strat. Sheer power. Okay. Let's talk about something that I find really cool. I mean, I think I talked about this in the past, but I want to talk about it again because, again, I can't stop gushing about this since it's like my ideal of VTuber Unity. Aki Rosenthal. Aki Rosenthal. I've been really wanting to make a video about her. I'm not gonna make one anytime soon, but I really want to make one where I talk about her path. Because I've already told you guys how these, you know, back in 2024, Aki Rose participated in a lot of competitive events. But I actually only recently discovered that it actually goes before that. I mean, okay, it technically, I already knew it went before that, before 2024, because of the VCR arc. But there was another event after the VCR arc that I wasn't aware was a big important thing. And it was the one thing that was missing, the piece of the puzzle that was missing, that happened between the VCR arc and the tournaments that she's been participating in. But I finally know what it is. It's the VCR GTA 2. The VCR GTA of 2023. That one was very important because Aki Rosenthal participated in that one for the first time. The first GTA event that she participated. Which is why she ended up being actually, you know, already pretty experienced by the time she participated in the whole GTA event. She had her own gang back in VCR GTA 2. Even though she was not experienced at all, she ended up being the gang leader. And she ended up being a unifying presence for the members of the gang. And in case you don't know what the gang is, it's the Neo Police. They were called Neo Police. And if you watch Aki Rosenthal collabs, you might hear that name be mentioned a lot, because it's still like a very special thing. For example, at the end of VCR GTA 3, all members of Neo Police, even though they were in different gangs and all that, they all reunited once again. And apparently, according to Hinokumaran, the Neo Police members gather around like once a week. If you look at Aki Rosenthal's collabs, most of her collabs tend to be with Neo Police members. So, you know, Siuseto Kohako, Hinokumaran, Neko Tatsuna, Shibuya Hall, Shiryuki Raid, Ex Albio, those members. Because those are some of the members of Neo Police. Oh boy, there we go. So it was really cool learning about VCR GTA 2 and how Neo Police came to be. At the end of the event, Aki Rosenthal had a one-on-one session of talking where she was driving around in the car that all the gang members bought for her. A very expensive car. It was a very expensive car. And she had a one-on-one talk driving around with each member. And it was really cool. It really goes to show how much Aki Rosenthal cares for every single one of her gang members. And which is why that friendship with them is so strong even today. Why Neo Police is so fondly, you know, Hinokumaran even calls Neo Police like an actual family. Nice PowerPoint presentation. You know, I always wanted to do another... I can't speak, goddammit. I always wanted to do one. Because I see other VTubers do PowerPoint presentations sometimes. There's the famous Pipkin Pip PowerPoint presentation, why I can't say slurs on stream. That one is a 10 out of 10. But damn, the internet really isn't getting any better today, huh? Usually, whenever it's having problems, it takes like a few minutes. I guess today is one of those critical days where it just stays bad for a while. Get to know you better? I mean, I think you guys already know all there is to know. Don't think there's anything else to know. With all the streams that I've done so far, I've talked a lot about a lot of things. My interests, my path leading to today, my skills, my ambitions, favorite anime, foods and all that. So I think it's all good. Unless I'm forgetting something else. Maybe... Oh, wait. Okay, well, let me get through this thing first, before I die. I'm playing like trash today, though. Maybe not for us, but for people who are new, or are just getting to know you. Well, one day, I'll do a Q&A. I mean, the Q&A video was meant to be a thing for, you know, a 10k special. So I'll still get around to do that. I'll do a Q&A video where I answer any questions people have, you know, unless they're not too private, that is, obviously. What type of girls do I like? You know, I actually like a wide variety of girls. I don't have like one particular type that I like above all. I like the energetic, Genki type. But I can also enjoy a lot the calm, quiet types. I like gyarus, obviously. Especially gyarus in terms of personality. And what I mean by gyaru in terms of personality is that sense of freedom that they tend to have. It's pretty nice. That type of, I don't care how society judge me, I'm gonna do what I find fun and I think is right. Something like that. In that sense, if you think about it, a lot of Vispo girls actually fit that definition. Now that I think about it. There are also Holo members that fit that. Matsuri is kinda like that, now that I think about it. Not personality as in oppai. When it comes to breast size, I am of the camp that all sizes have their own charms and strengths. You know, flat chests and you know, medium chests and big chests all can be pretty nice in their own different ways. That's why I am not picky when it comes to chest size. They all have their own charms. Again, I don't have I don't have like one particular type in general that I like. I like a wide variety of, you know, of traits for different reasons. Just don't have overinflated balloons, they're jarring. Yeah, actually I agree with that. I actually do agree with that. There comes a point where too big is too big, isn't it? But when I'm talking about too big, I'm talking about like unrealistically big, like, you know, like it's half the size of your body, something like that. You know, but that's like something you only see in like anime. You don't see that in real life. You know, I'm fine with like Noelle big, for example. That's fine by me. Noelle big is fine. When I mean Noelle big, I mean it's realistic, guys. Trust me, it's very realistic. You would have your preferences when you touch every one of them. Nah, it's alright. Visually, different types seem appealing. Alrighty. You know, I like short girls, but I also find tall girls appealing. So, you know, when it comes to height, again, I can enjoy different types. I tend to prefer cuteness. I tend to prefer cuteness over sexiness, but a mix of both is great too. I am a sucker for legs. I mean, I believe in Thai supremacy after all. Okay, let me just destroy this guy. There we go. Too big are not even fun to fumble. Oh, there she is. Peko-chan! Peko. Has the clumsy shrine maiden come to crawling back for a rematch of our great war? Huh? You shouldn't pick fights you can't win, stupid rabbit. Like I'd ever Pekoing lose to you. It's a replacement for like I'd ever fucking lose to you. Like I'd ever Pekoing lose to you. Alright, Usada, let's go! She fights with sheer brute force and by calling Nosagi the fight. She's actually really hard. Not a feet lover, I hope? You see, I am the type that I believe that different body parts can have their different appeals, right? I am a Thai supremacy person, but I can understand the appeal that people see for the different body parts. You know, be it shoulders, be it hands, be it backs, be it feet, be it armpits, doesn't matter. I can see the appeal when I try to understand what people see into it, and I, you know, think about it for a while. I start realizing, there might be something into this. So, while I am not really a foot lover in particular, I can see why people like it. But I am a Thai supremacy at the end of the day. A Thai supremacy enjoyer. As someone I used to know once told me, you must love the whole woman. The whole woman. Oh boy, okay, careful. Alright. Come on, Peko-chan. Ouch. When I was a teenager, I used to have a thing for blondes. These days, not really. It's not that I don't enjoy them anymore. I like them, but I just like them as much as everyone else, that's all. Alright, I need to be a bit focused for this one. Because this is the one that beat me when I encountered her off stream. Ouch. Ouch. There are Nosagis everywhere. There are Nosagis everywhere. Ouch. And she spawns more. Ah! Blah. Remember, kids, Kirshid says don't do sounding. No, thank you, I don't want to do sounding, not at all. Not at all. Love the whole woman, you got a point. Hell yeah. Though, I definitely do enjoy Gap Moe. Gap Moe is nice, you know. When cool tomboyish girls show their feminine side, for example, is really nice. I think that's why I started liking the Gyarus. Because Gyarus, I feel like, can have that Gap Moe, I feel. For example, whenever you find that a Gyaru that you thought is ditzy turns out to be really smart, I think that's a pretty good gap, for example. Or when that cool badass girl ends up being, like, surprisingly cute. That's also pretty nice. Or, you know, when that very cute girly girl ends up being actually surprisingly, like, surprisingly strong or, like, courageous. Gap Moe is great. I really like Gap Moe. If a game freezes, does it count as invincibility frames? For the enemy, I suppose. How can you lose to her? Projectiles are actually stopping midair. Well, some of them are. Oh, wait, you're talking about the freeze. I get it. I get it. Hey, it's still in the red, my OBS. It still says the connection is terrible. But again, I guess that's why we're a radio now. I told you guys one day in the past that I'd like to make a podcast one day. Because, you know, I'm a yapper, right? If there's one thing that streaming made me realize, that I am one of the yapper types. I just don't stop yapping. So I feel like a podcast or a radio would probably fit me quite well. Ouch. Alright, come on. There we go. Honestly, it's kind of surprising that I've never ever done a proper Zatsudan. I mean, I guess I did one Zatsudan on that Aqua video, but that was different. Like, I mean a pure Zatsudan. Maybe once I get my own model, I'll do Zatsudan. The reason why I don't do Zatsudans and things like that is more so because I don't have a model yet, and I feel like there's not much visual stimulation otherwise. That's why playing games helps. Also, I got destroyed by Pekora. I am not playing good today. I'm playing worse than I was last time. We might be here for a while. Okay. Best thing to do is to practice. Image training. Pekora. We need to do the same thing we did with Korone. Udin is good. Udin is really good. I've realized Udin is amazing. Ooh, do I want the black ice crystal? No, I don't. Too risky. Surviving is what I need. But yeah, I definitely want a podcast or something like that. In the future, that's gonna be a goal. Until then, I guess I'll be up while playing games. Would probably be a good thing whenever I'm grinding in a game. But I usually don't like to grind off stream. I prefer to grind off stream. Oh yeah, something that I remembered when you guys were talking about if I have a type. Something that I realized that I enjoy. I like an archetype, a specific archetype recently that I've been enjoying because there's a manga that I've been reading. I like the delinquent with a heart of gold type. So there's this manga called Yankee JK Kuzuhana-chan. That's really, really good. I found it randomly on Twitter, and I decided I'll give it a try. I thought I would drop it after a while, but I was being surprisingly invested into it. I think I already talked about it with Almighty. I'll tell you guys the synopsis, basically. So the main character is not very interesting, I'm going to be honest. It's not really interesting. He's very much the stereotypical dense guy. But he is like a guy who's learning about fashion, right? And he's the only guy in an all-girls school. Because, well, again, he's having fashion classes, so I guess that school was the only one that had those. And only guys usually don't go into that, I suppose. However, here's the thing with this school. There's a twist in this school. This is not a regular all-girls school. Every single one of the girls is problematic as hell. They're all like gyarus, or like delinquents, or like just troublemakers in some way. And as a result, the main character gets relentlessly bullied. And the guy is thinking of quitting the school because it's getting really bad. Right? But he meets this one girl. She's a bit of a loner. She's really badass, and she's really tall. And everyone is afraid of her. But turns out, that girl has a heart of gold, and actually, you know, isn't scary at all. And she's basically the only one that defends the main character at first. So yeah, that manga made me realize, I guess I like the delinquent with the heart of gold type. I never realized how I like that one that much. But I guess I do. Because the Gap Moe is really, really strong, really strong. Because again, it's not, oh, the character is really badass and really cool, but she has like really cute girly moments. You know, kind of like a lot of tomboys, like, you know, everybody loves Subaru because of those girly moments that she has, even though she's a huge tomboy, right? Same thing with Callie, a lot of people like the girly moments with Callie, right? Oh boy, let's see the shit. Ouch. 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 I'm getting destroyed. This goddamn spell card destroys me. Ouch. Ouch. Alright, come on. Ah, shit. Yep, I've read it a little bit. I was surprised to see panty shots in the second frame. Yeah, it's a bit ecchi. It's a bit ecchi. So, if you don't like that kind of thing, definitely don't read it. But if you don't mind a little bit of ecchi and a lot of fan service, that manga has a lot of fan service. It's really good though. Like the characters are actually a highlight in it. I have to admit, they really are. And eventually you get, you know, other characters become on the side of the main character, right? And there were some characters that I didn't like at all at first, but they ended up winning me over later on. So it's cool to see how, you know, the main character starts having more friends. But the main character being super dense does piss me off. I really dislike that trope, but hey, it's still very good manga. Again, the main girl definitely carries that 100%. Alrighty, ouch. Ouch. She's a tall, blonde delinquent. Well, I say delinquent because she fits the vibe, but she actually isn't really a troublemaker. She's just a loner who can beat anyone up. Alright. She would probably fit in a Yakuza game, honestly. But yeah, speaking about Gyarus, as I said earlier, I really do feel like the Vispo members, a lot of them really fit that Gyaru personality. I mean, obviously the most obvious of them all is Kaminari QP, right? She is literally the Gyaru. But there are a few others, like Shiranami Ramune. She also fits the Gyaru vibe. You know, very extroverted, high energy, cheerful Gyaru type. I think Yakumo Beni, in a certain way, also fits, more or less. Oh, speaking about Yakumo Beni, I feel like she's been unleashed this year. You see, Yakumo Beni has always been the sexy representative of Vispo. However, she's never been lewd, right? She's the sexy representative, but she's not lewd, which is interesting, right? But this year, ever since she collabed with Meloko, holy shit, she's been unleashed. She's going full yabe. Oh, I can parry that. Ouch. Ouch. Come on. Ouch. Goddamn no Sagis! Ah, why would you hit me? One of your brothers. Ouch, come on. Come on. Nice, sir! Gotta. This is civil war among no Sagis, come on. No Sagi or no Sagi violence. Ouch. If it wasn't Don-chan, I'd be dead by now. Meloko defiled it. It was honestly a really nice collab because I think according to Benny, she always wanted to go for that kind of humor, but no one in Vispa was able to like keep up with her, so she never went too hard on that kind of humor. But Meloko was the only one who, you know, who actually went along with her and made her go even harder on it. It all started because of the VCR GTA 3. In the VCR GTA 3, Meloko and Benny were part of the same group, where basically Benny would go around giving, you know, doing pole dances on guests while doing her usual comedic shenanigans. Specifically, her act where she can make she can come up with any word in the alphabet. Any word that starts with an initial in the Japanese alphabet and make it sexy somehow. And meanwhile, Meloko would be dancing in the background. And there would be like a musical number as well. It was really good. There's so many cool stories in the VCR GTA 3. Or, well, I should say in the VCR GTA event in general. Every single one of them. Ouch. God damn it. She really destroys me, huh? Alright, let's try this again. Come on, do this. But yeah, I eagerly await the next major events in the JP scene. I think so far there's only been like small events right now, small skill events. I mean, there's more tournaments that I always think. Recently there was an Apex tournament, a small one. I was not aware it was a thing, but there was one. It definitely doesn't help that the language barrier also makes it difficult for me to learn about news. Most of the news that I get of tournaments, I get it because of Twitter, right? Every time a V-Cycle gets announced, it's everywhere on Twitter, right? Whenever DokiBird does an event, it's on Twitter. Whenever, you know, another VTuber that I follow makes an event, it's on Twitter. But there are a lot of event organizers that I don't follow, right? Because they're more deep into the esports scene of Japan. So I never know that VTubers are participating on it. Unless the VTubers themselves retweet it, which they don't always do. Ouch. But I really enjoy tournaments. It's a great way for people to, for VTubers to put in display their skills. And a lot of them tend to be a lot of friends, you know, become good friends in them. My English today is just absolute trash. It's difficult to speak while playing this game. I'll get better though. Nothing is impossible. Ouch. Nice. Get parried, Peko-chan! Ouch. I'm being hit so much. I don't think the other two styles will help me though. Maybe I should just be perma-focused. Ouch. In focus mode, I mean. Ouch. Should have parried that. Hey, there we go. And speaking about, you know, VTubers becoming good friends... Ouch, I just got destroyed again. About VTubers becoming good friends, I've also noticed that Anya Melfissa, ever since VCR GTA 3, Anya has been really good friends with the Konkon Aria. They've been collabing a lot as of late, actually. They've done at least 2 collabs in 2 weeks. And it's not usual, I think, for Anya to do so many collabs outside Hololive, I think. outside of big events like VCR, for example, that is. But she's doing a lot of collabs with Konkon Aria. Ever since VCR 3, they were both working together in the police force back in the event. So I guess they ended up bonding as a result. It's one of the things I like about the VCR events. Is all the connections that end up being formed. I think before the VCR GTA 3, there was a Rust VCR. Well, there was a Minecraft VCR, but before the Minecraft VCR, there was a Rust VCR. And I think Anya was part of Tachibana Hinano's group, I think? I'm not sure, I don't remember. But I think at some point she was part of Hinano's group. Which I never would imagine Anya together with Tachibana Hinano. But Anya is really networking a lot into the JP scene. She's almost indistinguishable from a regular JP VTuber. What? You didn't hear about the goals on this year? She wanted to do a lot of collabs and meet new people because she wants to open people and get out of the zone of comfort. Ah, I see. So it is deliberate. Okay, that's nice. That's pretty cool. I guess Konkon Aria would be a good way to start, since they already got to know each other from VCR GTA 3. But that explains why she's collabing a lot with Konkon Aria. I think the future is quite bright for Anya Milfisa. Who knows, we might even see Anya participate in some competitive event one day. I mean, Anya doesn't really play Apex, and she was doing an Apex collab with Konkon Aria, so it's possible. I mean, anything is possible ever since Aki Rosenthal participated in the V-Cycle. And the hardest V-Cycle at that. As a complete newbie to Apex. And honestly, her team did pretty decent. Obviously, it's because she had really good teammates like Utai Meika and Dito, but, you know, Aki Rosenthal, she worked hard and honestly, she improved a lot. Which is basically what you can say about every single competition she's been a part of. Aki has been improving a lot in all the games she's been playing. She might not be the fastest learner, but she's very determined and she always improves. You know, the League of Legends tournaments, the Street Fighter 6 tournaments, the Apex tournament, all of them. She improves steadily. Slow and steady. Makes me really proud. When I make the big, I can speak. This is why you should do vocal warm-ups before starting stream, and I didn't do it today. Whenever I made the Aki Rosenthal guide, I would never imagine it would turn out like this. I remember saying in the beginner's guide that I found Aki Rosenthal to be one of the most underrated members in Whole Live. And today I can say that 1,000-fold. She really is one of the most underrated members of Whole Live. I feel like she's become even greater than before these days. I already thought she was amazing, but now I think she's even more amazing. I'm really proud of her. Her path has been a great one. And you know, to see how much she's like connecting with other VTubers as well and becoming like a unifier. Like, because she was the boss of Neopolis, right? Even though she was the least experienced member in the group and probably the least skilled player, she kept the group together because of her personality, you know, as a unifying heart of the group that made everyone, you know, feel like a family. A lot of the members of Neopolis weren't going to join the group permanently. They were going to be there temporarily and then leave the group, but all of them stayed permanently in the group. Hell, Shibuya Hall was part of a different gang before he joined Neopolis, but he left his previous gang to join Neopolis. Suna was gonna be there temporarily, but stay there permanently. I think Ran was the same thing. She was only gonna stay there for a little bit, but stood permanently. It was really cool. That's why I really feel like Aki Rosenthal deserves a video all for herself, another one. It's not gonna be a beginner's guide, just a video gushing about her path as of late, since VCR arc. Because VCR arc, in a way, was similar to what Anya is doing right now. You know, anyone that knows about Aki Rosenthal knows that she loves Arc. Arc is like her best game. She's really skilled at that game. You know, whenever Whole Life has like Arc streams, she always helps everyone. Yeah, as everyone's guide. And she did the same thing in VCR Arc. She was like a lot of VTubers' guide. She knows a lot about Arc. But at first she was a bit unsure if she really was going to participate in it. But she ended up participating in it because she wanted to expand her horizons, you know? And also get out of her zone of comfort. It ended up being one of the best decisions ever, because it's what led to this path of hers. Of meeting new people, of, you know, taking upon new challenges and things that she's not familiar with. And it also accelerated her growth, for sure. Like, 2024 was an amazing year for Aki Rosenthal. And back in 2023, you might be surprised by this, but Aki Rosenthal, she was in the last quarter, I think in the last quarter of 2023, she was the second most popular female streamer in the world after Pekora. That's huge for Aki Rosenthal. That's huge. Usually it's Miko, right? So, but to see someone like Aki Rosenthal being like the second most popular female streamer at a certain point is huge. It's definitely a milestone she should be very proud of. Alrighty. So this again. Miko or Mari, yeah. Koyori as well. Koyori tends to be in the top 10 a lot. Because Koyori streams a lot. Now we also have Iron Mouse a lot in it. But it's really funny how Pekora is like consistently top 3. And she tends to be, as a whole, like the most watched female streamer in the year. Like, she's been the most watched female streamer in the year for like 2023 and 2024 both. I wonder if she's gonna dominate 2025 as well. Like, Pekora is really doing amazing. I remember when I made the beginner's guides to Usada Pekora, and at the end I say, look, she's top 3 female streamer. One day she might dominate the world. And now we are living in that reality where Pekora really is dominating, being top 1 like multiple times. It's insane. I, for one, you know, welcome my Neo Rabbit Overlord. Long live the Queen. Because Koyori streams non-stop. Yeah, her work ethic is really, really amazing. She's very diligent. And you know, it's as they say, diligence is its own reward. And that shows. Diligence is its own reward. I aspire to live up to that saying. Aha! Get parried! Get parried, get parried, get parried! Ouch. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 has been announced. Mark my words, guys, in the next Nintendo Directs, we're gonna have a Fire Emblem announcement. Mark my words, it's going to happen now. It's going to happen. You can quote me on that, by the way. Historically, every time there's a new console announcement, there's always a new Fire Emblem game. And that tends to be one of Fire Emblem's best performances, whenever there's a new console. It was like that for Awakening. It was like that for Three Houses. I think it's going to be the same thing here. If there is a Fire Emblem announcement, I will buy the Switch too. Only if there's a Fire Emblem announcement. There we go. Just, nice. Let's hope, yes. I really want a new game. I've been seeing discussion on what the next game is gonna be. I think a lot of people speculate a remake because an FE4 remake has been like leaked for a long time. But recently I saw a video that made a very good point. We might actually not have an FE4 remake because the guy that leaked FE4 was the same guy that leaked Engage. And it could have been a mistake. He might have actually seen Emblem Sigurd from Fire Emblem Engage, and he thought that, oh, Emblem Sigurd, that means it's an FE4 remake in the works. But he didn't know that, no, there was an Emblem system in Engage, where previous main characters come back. You know, he could have seen like Emblem Sigurd and that one paralog, and made him think that, oh, it's an FE4 remake, when it might have not been. Ever since I saw that argument, I actually do feel like perhaps there might not be an FE4 remake after all. He leaked Fire Emblem Colgate? Yes. The guy that made the FE4 remake prediction was the guy that accurately leaked Engage. He even leaked images of the main character, which started the Colgate-chan meme. Like, the predictions were correct. Well, I got destroyed. Oh, shit. Too much training. And I think it's not the first time he does accurate predictions. But in the case of... in the case of... I'll go with this. Yeah, third phase brutal, yeah. In the case of the FE4 remake, I think it was just a mistake because of the emblem system in Engage. Personally, if you ask me what I really want, I prefer a new game. I always enjoy a new game over a remake. Exceptions are the Trails remake, because I really do feel like Trails needed a remake of the first games. Because a lot of people are intimidated by the series, and they don't want to go all the way back to a 2004 game to start the series, right? I mean, it's not that the game is bad. The 2004 game of Trails is really good, but to a lot of people it's a bit too archaic, I suppose. It has PS2 graphics, chibis and all that, and there's a lot of modern players that don't like that. Personally, it's fine, I love it. But I know that, you know, not everyone is from my era. There are a lot of Zoomers that grew up without that type of game. I mean, you know, I love Pokemon sprites, but my sister does not like sprite Pokemon, for example. So that's a good example. As the generations change, the graphic appreciation for different types of graphics also changes. And in generally, I think newer generations will demand higher graphic fidelity and in general better graphics. This is why I've seen people say that they want Fire Emblem to go back to 2D. I think that's a mistake. If Fire Emblem goes back to 2D, I don't think it's gonna do well. Right now, I think Fire Emblem needs to commit to 3D and make their 3D better and better. Yes, 2D Fire Emblem looks gorgeous, it's true, but I don't think it's gonna be good for marketing. Yes, there are games that succeed that are 2D, but those are few and far in between. And I feel like they're always being limited by the fact that they're 2D. It's usually more retro gamers that like that type of games. You have a sister? How many siblings you have? It's complicated. It's complicated. Technically, I have 2 half-siblings and 1 stepsister. But usually, whenever I refer to my sister, I refer to my to the half-sister. That you know, has been living with me and my parents for a long time. My half-brother, my older half-brother, I haven't seen him for years and years and years. And my stepsister, she, you know, she's way older than me, so she's been living by herself for like many years now. So what I mean by this is that my half-sister is the one that I grew up with. My younger half-sister is the only one that I've been growing up with. Because when it comes to me and my half-brother, we were raised in different families. Because we have different mothers. We have the same father but different mothers. When it comes to my half-sister, we have the same mother but different fathers. Here we go. There we go. So that's why I usually say it's complicated. There we go. But yeah, I haven't seen my half-brother in many, many, many years. I wonder how he's doing. There we go. Oh boy. The last time I saw him was when we were kids, actually. Yeah, that was the last time I saw him. We were kids still. Like, I'm talking elementary school level kids. So it's been many years. There we go. Nice. Are you in good relationship with your half-brother and sister? I mean, with my half-brother, I don't know, right? Because we haven't seen each other since we were kids, so, you know, we simply have been, you know, living different lives, that's all. With my half-sister, we've always got along, always. I mean, I taught her to walk, and count, and do simple maths. Always been a teacher at heart, I suppose. Ouch. 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 Alright, let's try this again. Damn, Pekora is really destroying me. Either today is just I'm not in a very attentive day, or Pekora somehow is harder than Korone. Which is not something I would expect. I guess today we're not gonna do that much progress, huh? Most likely. I mean, you know, maybe it's not a bad thing that I'm not gonna be doing much progress today since, you know, the internet is not really cooperating today, so... It might just be worth today being more of a Zatsudan type of stream. Since the audio is the only thing that's working fine. Oddly enough, keeping in mind how the stream started. Ouch. One, there we go. Haha. Ouch. Alright, let me heal. I'm really spamming these healing items. Nice. What else should we talk about? Let me see. Defaulting to VTubers is always a good topic of conversation since I could just yap endlessly about VTubers, about whatever. You know what I've been enjoying as of late? The fact that there's been zero drama as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if there's any drama, it's stuff that I don't see because it's probably small. But when it comes to major stuff, there's been zero drama, and that's amazing. I'm... Ouch. That's great. What about the economic relationship between the Czech Republic and Egypt? I have no idea what kind of relationship those countries have. I cannot really say. I have a complicated relationship with my older sister. We practically hate each other. Oh, really? But not in hate as universal word. We hate how different our opinions on everything is. I see. I can understand that. I can't relate, but I can understand. Because I am the same way, but with other different people. Can also happen depending on like generational gaps, I suppose. Though not necessarily. One of us needs help, we help each other with all our might. So we are in tsundere mode every time. Damn. I guess you have a strong family bond in that sense. Your difference of opinions is weaker than your ties of blood, I suppose. But yeah, no drama whatsoever has been going on in the VTuber community as far as I'm aware. Anything major at least. If it's like petty small stuff, that who cares? Nobody cares unless you are someone, you know, invested into that particular person. But there's like nothing major going on, and that's amazing. I love it. I hope it stays like that. Probably not, it's only a matter of time. But, you know, I'm very glad we're having a moment of peace and enjoyment. To be fair, not like I would be all over the place in it. Usually whenever a major drama is going on, I just, you know, pay attention to it so I, you know, so that I'm not clueless, but it's not something that I like to linger on for long. I prefer to focus on like cool events like VCR, for example. All the dominoes have already fallen. The next drama will be the new Niji graduation. I mean, to be fair, any graduation and termination in Nishi-sanji is now gonna cause discussion, right? Every time. But I think you're talking about the Twisty situation, right? Likely. I predict it's gonna be the case. I think no matter what happens, it's gonna have implications. So yeah, you're right, the dominoes have already fallen. And again, my only hopes is that, hey, whoever can thrive in Nishi-sanji, continue thriving, and anyone that cannot thrive in Nishi-sanji, leave as soon as possible. That's all I can say. Because there are people in Nishi-sanji that are thriving. Obviously, it's because of their own doing. Yeah, hello! In the JP scene especially, tends to be thriving more. This is why I've been very happy that Meloko is the one doing the best in Nishi-sanji EN, actually. And do you wanna know why? Because she's doing JP streams. She's not doing EN streams, she's going full JP, and that's hilarious. It's really funny because Meloko is Japanese, and when she joined Nishi-sanji EN, everyone was wondering, huh, why is she in Nishi EN? She should be in Nishi JP. Right? And now she's doing JP streams, and that's hilarious. You know, she's collabing with JP members, she's doing JP streams, she's participating in JP events, her streams are in JP, like the titles and all that. It's absolutely amazing, and that's actually what's allowing her to thrive, because her audience is a JP audience, it's not a yen audience. So she's having the best numbers in Nishi yen right now. She's actually having like regular numbers, like by Nishi standards. And honestly, hey, go get him, girl. You keep thriving. And Kotoka, I think, is also trying to do the same, and I hope she does. Although she's trying to keep more of a balance between EN and JP. Honestly, my advice to any Niji EN talent is, hey, if you know Japanese, go cater to the Japanese audience, because I feel like that's the only way to survive in Niji EN right now. It's to cater to the JP audience. That's the best way. It's working for Moloko. It's partly working for Kotoka. That's the best thing to do. My favorite Nishi is Uki. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. I think there's this one streamer slash YouTuber that I watch his streams every once in a while because I find them very informative. It's called Armchair... Shit, I forgot. It's Armchair something, right? He talks about media literacy and makes some cool streams that are very long. Nishisanji is definitely like a master class in what not to do for PR. Literally. They're like an example of everything not to do. Especially, and that's not just on the management side, but also on some of the talent side. I think Uki is a good example of like what not to do to like alienate like a big portion of your audience. Or, well, potential audience even. Cause like, obviously vilifying an entire race of people is not gonna sit well with people, right? I mean, I would call that kind of racist, not gonna lie. You know, and racism is not good because you're like discriminating people based on factors outside of their control. You know, just by being who they are. And I think that's kind of bad, you know? Just saying, I think we all can kind of agree with that, you know, discriminating people based on, like, you know, their race and, like, things they cannot control is probably, you know, not a good idea, and it's probably bad, and it's, I mean, not probably, it's definitely bad, you know? Can we all agree that racism is bad, guys? Probably. But I think Uki might need a little bit, you know, a little bit more time to think about that, you know? And it doesn't matter what race you are, it's always bad, right? That said, I am fine with jokes. I think, you know, jokes are funny. And I don't usually mind when people are making jokes. However, there are people that disguise jokes, disguise their actual opinion as jokes, and, you know, that infamous reply, they're just as, you know, they're just, what was that quote that he did? They're just as irresponsible as you are. You know, I don't think that's joking anymore. I'm just saying, I don't think that's joking anymore. I mean, in my friend group, we love, you know, offensive jokes. You know, we love dark humor and offensive jokes in my close friend group. Probably the kind of things that would get us cancelled. But the thing is, when we in my friend group, when we do offensive jokes, we believe in offensive equality. Everyone gets shit, you know? Everyone gets poked fun of. It doesn't matter what race, gender, sexuality, country you are, everyone gets made fun of. And we all bond based on that. And we are a pretty diverse group, actually, you know? Believe it or not, we are a pretty diverse group. Some of us are straight, some of us are not, some of us, you know, are different races, you know, the deal. And we still all make offensive jokes and bond over it. Because guess what? You can make jokes without actually, you know, meaning it. And you can bond with people. In case you don't know, there's this one video that I really recommend to people watching. It's about a subreddit that used to exist called Two Balkan For You. And it was basically a subreddit where Balkan people would all just poke fun of each other and be super nationalistic, right? And just be super offensive against each other. But guess what? That subreddit actually allowed Balkan people to start bonding with each other and become friends. Like, people that would ordinarily never become friends with each other due to their countries hating each other, actually starting becoming friends by, like, poking fun of each other and making offensive jokes and all that. They actually started becoming friends, to the point where when 2Balkan4U was, like, banned and deleted, the Balkan people just ended up creating, like, a different community somewhere else because they loved that community. It was a way for them to bond. And I think it's a good... And the one thing that every single one of the Balkan users hated is Westerners going there telling them about morality and what they can and cannot do, because, you know, arguably, the Westerners that were, like, criticizing them did not get the culture of the Balkans. Where poking fun of each other is, like, normal there. I've been recently also watching, like, certain Romanian VTubers. There's one called Pipi Slayer and another one called Pause. I've been watching their videos here and there every once in a while. And it was really funny how they themselves can, like, relate to the Balkan people in that sense, right? I mean, Pipi Slayer in their case always makes jokes about Hungarians, because, you know, Romania and Hungary are not in the best terms, but so she makes Hungarian jokes all the time, but, you know, apparently it's literally just jokes, right? And that's like a common thing in the Balkans. They just make jokes. There probably are managers from Ubisoft. Yeah, probably. So, you know, I'm a big fan of, like, offensive humor, personally. So that's why offensive jokes to me are, like, fine. Because, again, I myself can relate with that, you know, people bonding by being offensive towards each other. You know, because everyone knows no one actually means it, right? You know, there's no need to step on eggshells. You have no idea, you know, how many of my non-straight friends, you know, make jokes about the F-word about themselves. Like, it's very common. And they allow everyone in the friend group to say it as well around them. Because they know no one actually means it. As an insult. So yeah. The sad thing I found out is that Uki is actually doing considerably well. I mean, he does have his audience. Very much so upsets me. I mean, I'm not upset, you know. I don't usually like... I don't like to wish for people's, you know, misfortune. But he has his audience, obviously, you know. There are people that agree with him, so he's not going to alienate those. It's normal. The hypocritical too, given one dude got punished for Korean jokes. Yeah, Kyo. You're talking about Kyo because he made, like, a plastic surgery joke, right? About Korea. Even though... I'm sorry, guys, but it's literally... It's not a joke, it's a fact, though. There's a lot of plastic surgery in Korea, like... He didn't say anything offensive. It's literally how it is. It's kind of like how Turkey is, like, known for, like, hair transplants. It's literally a fact. There's nothing offensive about it. You know, you can't be offensive by stating facts. It's simply how it is. It's not racist to say that Korea has a lot of plastic surgeries. It's literally just how it is. You know, like how in Turkey, they're known for their hair transplants and things like that. Though, I'm gonna be honest, I think the people that got offended by that aren't even Korean, I'm gonna be honest. I really do feel like the majority of people that get offended for these things are not even part of the group that supposedly they think would be offended. I really just feel like it's people that are, like, being offended on behalf of someone else. Like, I really do feel like Koreans don't care about it. It's kind of funny how country always talking about freedom of speech bullies people for what they are saying. I mean, it's not like America themselves is doing it, right? It's some people that are doing it. You know, not everyone in America likes that. And if we can judge by like how the cultural pendulum has been swinging, I think those people that are getting offended are the minority now. I mean, I think they always were in the minority. It's just that people before were like trying to be tolerant and wouldn't talk, but now people are running out of patience so much that now it's like, okay, guys, this is going a bit too far. Like, remember the Hogwarts Legacy situation, the Hogwarts Legacy incident, where people started harassing others for playing a video game. I think that was like a really good omen of things to come, because it was the situation that made a lot of people that, you know, are more on the moderate side start to become tired of this whole, you know, policing of like you can and cannot do and you can and cannot say. And that's when I think people start to realize that the people getting offended are the minority. And I think the people that used to say, because I saw a lot of people say, now this is gonna be the time we're gonna see who's an ally who actually is. We're gonna fight the entire world if we have to. And like, I feel like this is the consequences of your own actions, right? You shouldn't become, you know, you shouldn't make an enemy out of the entire world when, you know, a lot of the people that you're making an enemy out of are people that would be on your side. A lot of moderates would be on your side otherwise, you know? But you have to, you know, be, no, you're either with us or against us. There's no, you know, there's no half measures. You have to be with us 100% of the time. No criticism whatsoever. Like, that's how you're gonna make enemies out of people, because, like, that's an extremist position. Moderate people are never gonna be with you 100% because, well, moderate people are not extremists. Right? And they're gonna have criticism of some things. So, you know, if you start, like, canceling people for playing a video game, you're being an extremist. And people don't like that. Because it is a video game. And they have different opinions of you on the matter. And, you know, you should accept that people will think differently from you. That's diversity, by the way. Diversity of thought. It's the reason why I allow people to express different opinions on the Discord server. You know? Because I think, you know, I think allowing that makes for a healthier community. When people can actually express different opinions and, you know, debate, have heated arguments without having to worry about being banned or cancelled. As long as they follow the rules, which, you know, even though I have some strict rules, I tend to be pretty fair with the rules. I mean, no one has ever been banned in the Discord server so far. The Discord server we have has been a thing for like, what, 3 years now? No one has ever been banned, and no one has ever been threatened of being banned either. And we've had so many heated discussions in the Discord server. Sometimes political, sometimes about VTubers. Hell, we've even had religious talks in the Discord server, and yet, no one has ever been banned. You know? And I believe it's because the dialogue is what allows people to, you know, get to know each other better. It's better than, you know, if drama was starting to arise because we would be enforcing, you know, things like that. I dislike that. I dislike, you know, when discussion gets shut down because no, you cannot think that, you cannot talk that. You have to stop, you have to think like us 100% or you get banned. I dislike that a lot. I really do. Like whenever I see Reddit mods like threaten that they're gonna ban someone if they talk back. I hate that. I really dislike that. I think as long as someone is willing to argue something logically without resorting to insults and resorting to like being actually offensive, and by actual offensive I don't mean disagreeing, I mean like, you know, doing ad hominems and things like that. I think so long as someone is willing to have a proper dialogue, a civil discussion, I think everything should be fine. Yeah, it's normal behavior among friends. Sadly, people are stupid. Some people are. Anyway, main director of Dragon Age Veilguard's getting fired. I mean, no wonder. The game didn't do exactly that good. For obvious reasons. I mean, Dragon Age fans themselves are pissed off at the game. I read a review by Nene Amano, who's a Dragon Age fan. She hated the game. I mean, the characters are just unlikable as hell. The dialogue is patronizing as hell and treats you like a kid and basically isn't actual dialogue, it's just lecturing you. Like, it's an embarrassment in dialogue writing. Like, who the hell? Like, you go compare the Lord of the Rings writing with, like, Velgard writing, it's like night and day. Like, and it's not because the game... It's not because of politics, guys. Politics in games works. Look at Metal Gear. Metal Gear is popular, people love Metal Gear. Metal Gear is political as fuck. Metaphor Refantasio is a JRPG that came out recently. That game is very political. Nobody has a problem with that. Why? Because it does politics right. It's good. It's not patronizing, and it doesn't tell you what you have to think. It presents you politics and has you think for yourself, right? And that's the difference. It just presents you politics and makes you think for yourself rather than telling you what you have to think, right? And so it's not really the politics in games, it's the problem is how politics are being done. That's the problem. Because a lot of games are political, but they make you think rather than, you know, forcing you to think a certain way. And again, Metal Gear and games like that are a very good example of that. You can't use The Lord of the Rings as an example for good writing because of Rings of Power. Yes, I can, because it wasn't Tolkien who made Rings of Power. Rings of Power isn't canon, you know? Rings of Power is literally fanfiction. Anything that wasn't, you know, written by Tolkien or amended by Christopher Tolkien is not canon. It's all fanfiction. That's why usually I'm not pissed about bad Lord of the Rings adaptations, because they're fanfiction. They're not canon. Rings of Power went against canon multiple times. There we go. Alright. I want to read those comments, but wait. I can't really read in this spell card. Just a moment. Come on. Die. Please. There we go. Okay. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I remain furious with Shadow of War violates Lord of the Rings lore. Yet remains such a fun game. I hate that I love it. I can understand that. I love, you know, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War because the game is just so much fun. Again, I don't have a problem with games going against canon as long as they are good games at the end of the day. Because, like, let's be honest, the Lord of the Rings itself is also does things that go against canon lore, and the movies are still like masterpieces. Like, you know, the movies removed the scouring of the Shire, for example. You know, like, you know, in the movies, it's Legolas that kills Saruman at Isengard. That never happened in the books. In the book, Saruman survives and appears at the very end when the hobbits return to the Shire. The Shire was taken over by Saruman. And it's the hobbits that have to basically lead an uprising against Saruman. In which he dies. And for example, let's see. The elves never came to help the Rohan in Helm's Deep. That was a movie edition. Rohan defended itself in the books. They also had slightly more troops. I think in the movies they had 500 men. I think in the books they had like 2,500, something like that. Still a minority though. And there's a bunch of other like things that the movies did different. For example, the movies skipped over Tom Bombadil and the Old Forest. You know, after the hobbits leave the Shire, they go through the old forest and meet with Tom Bombadil and then cross the Barrow Downs, where they fight. They end up escaping the Barrow Whites that the Witch King of Angmar created long ago. That the movie skipped over that completely. But the movies are still amazing, right? And that's why nobody minds. Because the movies are great. As long as you make a good product, people won't be pissed. That's kind of my stance with Shadow of War. The game is so much fun, that I can overlook the canon, you know, the lore being kind of different. I just want a good game, that's all I want. I would prefer if it didn't break canon, but hey, as long as I have fun, I don't mind it. I mean, if you use Lord of the Rings now, people will remember Rings of Power, which is absolutely sad. I mean, I don't know. Wait, do really remember Rings of Power? I don't know about that. I think any Lord of the Rings fan will always talk back on the books or the movies, not the Rings of Power. I feel like no one would ever consider Rings of Power by thinking of the Lord of the Rings. So wait. The comment ended up being buried. Wait. Let me. I want to read it. There we go. There we go. They didn't even read the books, especially with the Silmarillion. Yeah, but a lot of people don't read the books. That's normal. Shadow of War should have been its own thing rather than slapping on Lord of the Rings. It's still a good game, but Lord of the Rings decorations were necessary. I suppose it's like a good marketing move, because Lord of the Rings is like so popular and influential, right? So as a result, if you're making like something related to the Lord of the Rings, not putting the Lord of the Rings name in your title would just be a bad marketing move. I remember Jackson and McKellen were focused specifically on making a movie that Tolkien would approve of. Yes. Very much so. I think that was the case. And I think most people can agree that the way the movie went about doing things was probably for the best for a movie. Movies are gonna be 6 hours long if they add everything from the books. Oh shit, it's that one spell card. Shit, come on. And they are already 3.5 minutes long. And they are really good, yeah. I love watching the extended editions. There we go. Every time I meet someone that has never watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy, always urge them to do so. Lord of the Rings is the reason why I'm such a big fantasy fan. Ouch. I mean, new generations, Well, I hope that we as good Lord of the Rings fans can steer them down the right path. Here, I know you're watching Rings of Power, but here, let me show you something better. Let me show you the light. And I don't need to convince you, you just need to watch for yourself and see it. And you'll see what peak cinema looks like. Actually unironic, peak cinema. And I'll say it with the utmost confidence that Lord of the Rings is unbeatable. At least in my opinion, it's unbeatable. I don't think any other movie surpasses the Lord of the Rings trilogy to me, personally. I'm gonna be honest, it's unbeatable. I mean, everyone still loves Tom Bombadil despite him not being in the movies, yeah. One GF I had said she found the Lord of the Rings boring. Okay, yeah, no, that wouldn't work out with me. Definitely not. No, we can't. We have to break up right now. It's a good thing she's now my ex. Immediately. We can't get along. We can't get along. That is the one thing. The one thing. I absolutely enjoy that one time when Kiara was like ranting about the Rings of Power because Kiara hates the Rings of Power. Because again, Kiara is a big Lord of the Rings fan. she loves the Lord of the Rings, so she absolutely was like molding about Rings of Power. It was glorious to see. Oh well. As I say, the market will decide. The market will decide. At some point, companies lose money and they realize maybe we should do something else so we don't lose as much money. You know, maybe doing something that the audience likes would be good. Maybe changing established canon. Or actually, no, not even that. Maybe just doing bad products is not a viable business strategy. How about that? I think video game companies are going to understand that first. As we're seeing games fail. I mean, cough cough Concord, guys, right? I think Concord is a good example of that. I mean, the studio doesn't exist anymore. I pray the man who made the Lord of the Rings mod for Minecraft will return one day and finish updating it. Oh, that would be cool. I'd like to play that. Ouch. Ah, goddammit. Yeah, I'm playing like trash. I'm not paying attention to the game, to be fair. My friend invited me to watch the Lord of the Rings movies together and explain what is happening. When I came, we downloaded the theatrical versions of the movies. So I said the famous words, less than half what I'd hoped for. What? Download the director's cut after this. Huh. Yeah, the extended editions are much longer. Yeah. Lord of the Rings is was what got me into fantasy in the first place. Fantasy is one of my favorite genres ever. And it was all thanks to Lord of the Rings, which is very fitting because Tolkien is the father of modern fantasy after all. All the fantasy tropes of elves, orcs, dwarves, you know, the party system, kind of, come from Tolkien, which in itself comes from like Norse mythology and all that. But the tropes as we know them come from the Lord of the Rings. More or less, not quite. I feel like some tropes are different. Elves in Tolkien and elves in anime are very different. There used to be a time I didn't like elves anymore, except Tolkien elves. They were the only exception. These days I've warmed up to elves, mostly because of whole live elves, you know, like Lami and Claire. They've made me like elves again. And Aki. This whole new dimension creates everything from Forokel and Farharad. Oh, that's pretty cool. I mostly experience the world of Lord of the Rings these days through the Lord of the Rings Online MMO. The MMO is amazing, and it tries to recreate every single location based on the books. They already have most of Middle-earth made. The regions that are left are like the regions that we never see in the movies, like Haradrim. They added Umbar recently. Now they need to add Harad. But Mordor is already fully in the game, including other places like Gundabad. Damn. Speaking of, want to know what reputation I love? Near Harad presents in the books that were sick. I wanted more of them, yeah. Sorry, not representation, yeah. Exactly right. It's kind of interesting how, you know, there's this whole talk about representation, and a lot of adaptations of the Lord of the Rings miss out on the opportunity of actually showing the Haradrim in them, because that would be such an easy win for representation. It would be such an easy win. But instead they go with the other thing that they do, which is instead of adding something that already exists, they somehow need to replace it. And I think that's what makes people pissed off. People don't like when something is replaced. I mean, it's not that it cannot, it's not that it can't work, because, for example, there's the example of Nick Fury in Marvel. You know, Nick Fury before and Nick Fury now are different, right? But everybody loves it because it's Samuel L. Jackson, right? Everybody loves him, right? He did a very good job. But that's an exception rather than the rule. People usually don't like when things are being replaced, especially when everyone knows it's being replaced for the sake of an agenda. I think that's what pisses people off more. It's not sincere, it's not authentic. It's being done for a specific purpose that people know is not genuine. But for example, people love Miles Morales. Like, people really love Miles Morales. You wanna know why? Because he's not replacing anyone. Peter Parker still exists. Miles Morales is a completely new character. And people like that. That's how you do it. You don't replace, you create new. And make people fall in love with the new characters. And I think that does much better for representation than whatever they've been doing so far. Go. I'm neutral to elves unless I'm embracing dwarf supremacy, in which case I hate those knife-eared tree-hugging pricks. Recently I saw someone claiming that elves are like somehow, you know, that somehow elves are like pedophilia or something like that, which is like, bro, that's like the most dwarf-pilled thing I've ever heard. It was a brain-dead statement on Twitter, don't worry guys, nobody actually cared. Miles Morales is a good character, exactly. That's another thing that helps representation, is when the writing is actually good. You know, it's not difficult, you just need to, you know, try and do a good product. But again, and I've talked about this in the past, I blame theater kids, and I say this as a theater kid myself. Whenever I was doing theater, I remember there were a lot of people, a lot of theater kids like me that had these aspirations of like putting out a message, because artists, it's their job to put out a message and impact society and criticize society. And a part of me always had mixed feelings about that, because yes, I understand that art, you know, can impact culture and things like that, but I feel like it was being misunderstood, right? In my opinion. I feel like a lot of the people that had those aspirations were missing the point. That those artists wanted to express themselves, but at the end of the day they had love for what they're doing, and they wanted, you know, they wanted to put out a good show for people, right? To showcase how good they were at acting and bring the characters to life and show good stories and all that. And yeah, of course, also impact society with good messaging, but that is secondary to the main point. And I feel like a lot of theater kids ended up putting the message first and the good show second. And I've watched a lot of amateur theater, by the way. I watch I like watching theater, be it professional or amateur theater, right? And I've watched a lot of amateur pieces. I mean, I myself was an amateur, right? I mean, I may as well still be an amateur today. I am still an amateur. I watched a lot of amateur theater, and I think the one thing that I can notice in amateur theater is that a lot of amateur actors, I mean, not the actors themselves, but a lot of amateur theater plays are always like trying to pass a message rather than give a good show. And they always fall flat as a result. It's not a good show, it's not entertaining. And I see that same mentality in a lot of, like, you know, shows, games and stuff these days. It's people that believe they're artists, so they want to make something that's going to impact society, but they forget the point that they need to put a good show and deliver a good product first. Because at the end of the day, art is entertainment. entertainment is a luxury and people want to have a good time. If you don't deliver on that first, people are not gonna like it. And the message that you're trying to deliver is gonna fall flat, by the way. If you want the message to hit hard, you need to make sure it's gonna be entertaining first. Elves are pretty much the most racist fantasy race. Kinda, yeah. Depends on the fantasy, but in a lot of them, yes. I left Carillion for Vermintide. Oh, that's a game that I have when it was free. I've only played it once, though, because I didn't have anyone to play with. She calls everyone mayflies because they live as long as a fly compared to her. Yeah, I guess old characters would be like that. Old characters like, you know, gods, vampires, and Leaflet. I'm joking. Sorry, this is just a fun joke about Leaflet. I wonder if she would have a heart attack if she knew that I've been watching her since I was in middle school, since I was like 12. She probably would fall into depression at that moment. But yeah, I've been watching her since I was like 12. Give me a Nier Harat story, goddammit. Yes, give us a Nier Harat story. I agree. That's your chance for representation. And it would make sense. And people would like it, because it's an unexplored part of the lore. That would be awesome, for sure. But yeah, but again, the cultural pendulum is already swinging. I think people understand. I mean, the easiest way to see it swinging is by looking at sales, right? The sales of game Concord failing is a good example. Nobody cares about Dustborn. Veilguard had the reception that it had. I mean, I think that shows that only a small minority really likes those games. Only a small minority likes those games. Which shows that it's a minority. It just got to this point because people were tolerating it. That's all. But I personally am very happy about what's going on, because it demands better quality games of companies. I think people should definitely be more strict when it comes to the standards in games. You know, because you pay money, right? You pay money for games. So as a consumer, you should be getting a good product. Rune. I get feeling you would go nuts for an installment to focus on Rune for obvious reasons. Yes, I would, for sure. Like, Marvel Rivals is a good show that Concord could have, you know, succeeded if it didn't have the issues that it had, like bad designs and, you know, clearly trying to go for a certain agenda. Because guess what? People like cute things. People like attractive characters. There's a reason why it's called attractive characters, because people are attracted to them. That's the whole point. That's what being aesthetical pleasing is. It's attractive. And when something is attractive, you like looking at it. You become more attached to it. If you're making something ugly on purpose, no one's gonna like that. No one's gonna like that. You're sabotaging your own marketing. How else do you think Overwatch survived to today? Overwatch is on a lifeline right now. Overwatch is being carried by the Gooners. Without the Gooners, Overwatch would be dead now. And Marvel Rivals understands the assignment, by the way. Concord was dead before it was born. I mean, it got aborted like 2 weeks after it was born. which is hilarious. A post-birth abortion, as I've heard it being called. With my gooners. I find it funny, VTubers who complain about traditional beauty are the same ones who make sure they have jiggle physics. I'm gonna be honest, I rarely see that kind of thing. But that might be because I mostly watch JP VTubers. Then again, the EN VTubers that I watch also don't usually say those kinds of things. Because the EN VTubers that I watch usually tend to be all very much into that kind of thing, you know, attractive characters. But I think I know what you mean. I think those are just tourists. I really do think they're just tourists. Or make ugly characters but great game design, like Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls work. I mean, even then, Dark Souls has its own fair share of, you know, waifus, you know? Like Priscilla, like the Firekeeper, Dark Souls 3. You know, I've seen Rosaria hentai. There's the Orchestra stuff as well. And a bunch others. Surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, a lot of Gwendolyn. Oh yeah, and how can I forget Guinevere? I mean, come on, it's Guinevere. I mean, in main characters, I suppose, but although you can make the main characters yourself. Some people make them super ugly on purpose, but it's for the sake of a joke, not like an agenda. You know, guys, remember when Pokemon Go made everyone's character ugly? Pokemon Go once tried to make an inclusive update, so everyone's avatars became ugly by default. And then they reverted it because, you know, nobody liked that. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Who wants to be actually ugly in a character, right? There are people that, you know, make ugly characters as a joke. But most people want a character that does not represent themselves. They want a character that looks attractive because they want to be that attractive character, you know? Or something like that. Hell, it doesn't even need to be you, a representation of yourself. It can be like, I want to see the adventure of someone who's attractive. Because again, it's attractive. Alright. The Emerald Herald. Right, that's another one. I haven't played Dark Souls 2, so I don't know much about the characters from that one. Pokemon Go without thinking Pokemon Go to the polls. At least when it comes to Pokemon, the main games, if there's one thing Game Freak is good at, is making good designs. Like, the characters are usually very attractive. And that reflects in the amount of lewd artwork they get, always. I mean, Cynthia alone has galleries upon galleries upon galleries of art on Pixiv alone. You can make really attractive models only in Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring is definitely more pretty. I've noticed that. There's a lot of really good art of Queen Marika. In other games you can make an abominations and less ugly abominations. Yeah, pretty much. Reminds me of a character created in that Oblivion. Don't forget Concord had literally no lewd artwork. Which is not surprising. No one cosplayed Concord either. I mean, actually that's not true. I saw a cosplayer of a trash can. I think that was a Concord cosplay. But I'm gonna be honest. If there was actually a trash can in a video game, I think it would get more artwork than Concord. Actually, that's not even a theory. That's true. there are people that cosplay trash cans from Star Rail, Honkai Star Rail. So literally trash cans have more cosplays than Concord. In case you don't know, the trash cans in Star Rail are an inside joke. Because the main character can like interact with every trash can in the game. And there's always like unique dialogue for every single trash can. Well, when trash cans have more personality and, you know, are more beloved than your character, you know you've done something wrong. There's probably lewd artwork of Concord at this point just because someone made it after hearing there wasn't any. Could be. I mean, Concord has fans. Like 3 of them, I suppose. So it's something like that. Which is crazy. But really, if you are a game director, let me give you some advice, future game director. Make something people will like. And when I say people will like, I mean like a majority of people will like. Look, there's nothing wrong with having a target audience. And sometimes your target audience is not gonna be a mainstream majority, and that's fine, that's fine. But you are appealing to like an audience that exists, right? Not a theoretical audience that you think exists but doesn't exist. Because, you know, Concord was made for the modern audience. But this modern audience is not an actual thing that exists, it's a theoretical modern audience that does not exist, right? So remember, make attractive characters because people like attractive characters. And look, it's not that like making ugly characters is bad. There are games with unattractive characters, you know, there are games where you can play as literal monsters, which, you know, there are people into that too. People like to use Illaoi as an example from League, but I disagree. Illaoi is a muscle mommy for a lot of people. Illaoi is super buff. There are people very much into that. And Illaoi is just an interesting character, honestly, overall, in the lore. Even still, though, League of Legends has a lot of really attractive characters. Like, a lot of them. If you're appealing to a small audience, make sure you allocate an equally small budget to the project. Unless, well, it depends, right? If the small audience is like a very dedicated audience, I think you can, you know, get away with a little bit more. There are audiences that are very dedicated. But those are like specific niches. But yeah, definitely don't like spend $200 million on a project like that. Probably a bad idea. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think $200 million for a video game is a bit overkill. I think you can make really good games with way less money than that. But I'm gonna be honest, I think a lot of the reason why the Concord took like $200 million to make is because they were being very inefficient with the money. Very inefficient and hiring people for roles that might not be necessary and things like that. Like, I've seen a lot of, I've seen game companies like hire DEI consultants. Like, why? I feel like that's a role you don't need. Why do you need that? That's a useless role. You don't need that. It's easy. You wanna make diversity in a game? Then do it. You don't need a consultant for that. Why do you need a consultant? Metal Gear Rising is a very diverse game if you think about it. Oh well. League is better... Wait. League is better representing female forms than Marvel Rivals, they say, as Ari exists. I mean... I don't know what they mean by female forms, right? Because... I've seen a lot of people that believe, for some reason, real girls, real women are not pretty, which is like... I'm sorry, have you gone outside? You know, whenever I go outside, I see a fair amount of very attractive people. You know, average looking does not need to be ugly, by the way. Average looking can be good looking too. I mean, that's why we call it average. Average is not ugly. Average is average. But like, I remember people use that argument with Stellar Blade. Oh, they don't know what a woman looks like. Meanwhile, the main character in Stellar Blade was modeled after a real person. The exact same proportions and everything. In a way, if you think about it, that's kind of body shaming if you think really about it, right? And Bessie is actually cool too. I might fall for her if she wasn't a granny. True. Like, League of Legends has a wide variety of, like, body types. That is true. That is actually true. The body types in League of Legends are very varied. But the majority of designs in League of Legends are very attractive. The vast majority of them. Because they know people like, you know, attractive characters. And even the ones that are not conventionally attractive do appeal to some people that do find it attractive. Like Illaoi, like I said, there are people that are into like big-ass muscles like that. People like muscle mummies. Same thing, I guess Mbessa is similar in that sense. You know, you also have Gragas. You want someone who's like overweight in League? There's Gragas. He's been in League for a long time. But yeah, League does not have an issue with designs. League is doing fine. Marvel Rivals understood the Overwatch assignment really well. Concord failed. Let's do what Concord did not do. Give us good characters. Which is funny, because there's another, like, Marvel game. I forgot which game it is. It's another Marvel game. And the designs don't look nearly as good as Marvel Rivals does. They make Victor a twink. I haven't seen the visual rework yet. I need to take a look. Victor was the biggest body shamer in the League. True. Metal is perfection. Flesh is weakness. Basically, Victor from League was the same as Adeptus Mechanicus from Warhammer 40k. Similar to it, at least. But, again, I don't know about new Victor lore because I haven't watched Arcane Season 2 yet. I haven't watched it yet. But before the lore rework, the retcon, because again, Riot decided to unify all their IPs, right? Every single IP, I mean, no. What I mean is every single lore is one lore. Before, they used to have multiple lores, but now they're trying their best so that there's only one lore. And they retconned the old Piltover lore to be the same as Arcane lore. Before the retcon of Piltover, Victor, he wanted, he believed in the glorious evolution, where he believed that the next stage in humanity's evolution was to become metal, you know, mechanic. However, contrary to popular belief, he was not evil. He did not force anyone to become mechanical. He only did it to anyone who wanted to. In fact, in Zon, there was a cult that worshipped, you know, actual you know, being mechanical, and they love Victor, but Victor hates them because, again, they force people to become mechanical. They are an extremist terrorist group. Victor doesn't like them because, again, Victor didn't like, you know, Victor wasn't the type to force others to join his movement. But anyone who came for him for change, he would change them gladly. That was the old Victor lore. I don't know what the new one is. In fact, Jace was the asshole in the old lore. Jace in the old lore was the one who slandered Victor as being evil. But he was just a huge asshole. Again, I need to watch Arcane Season 2 to see what they're gonna do with Victor. Because I haven't watched it yet. I've been busy watching my 125 tabs of YouTube, which I finally got through. Finally. Shit. Yeah, today I'm not gonna do any progress today, guys. From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. Yeah, pretty much. I may drink some water. Ah. But you know, guys, I do have one fear. I am afraid that the cultural pendulum might swing too far to the other side. Because that's kind of what always happens, isn't it? It always starts following too far to one side and then too far to the other side. I personally don't like, you know, either extreme. I don't like either extreme. You know, I consider myself a moderate. You know, someone who's in the middle. And it's not for a lack of conviction. No. I have a lot of conviction in my moderate takes, in my moderate positions. So that's why I'm a bit afraid that the pendulum might swing too far to the other side. And whose fault is that? Whoever is in control previously. After all, the reason why people go into extreme positions on the opposite side is because other moderate groups might be too afraid to you know, to have a moderate take, and instead go with the flow too much, a bit too much, instead of, you know, having a position. They should just embrace their moderate positions. But, and the reason why I say this is because, for example, you guys know how Hogwarts Legacy, the situation, was a good example of if you don't agree with us 100% and you're our enemy and you are X label and X label, right? And this makes, like, moderate people too afraid of disagreeing even a little bit. And as a result, they tend to tolerate the extreme side and not say anything. And this makes people that otherwise would be moderates want to shift to the opposite extreme. Because the opposite extreme is the only one that actually takes that stand. Right? Because nobody wants to be called racist, nobody wants to be called something bad like that, have like a label associated with them. And that's why a lot of moderates tend to tolerate, you know, unreasonable behavior until it gets too much, of course. But we're getting to a point where you know, certain labels are used so much that it's becoming the boy cried wolf situation, where when the actual real deal appears, then nobody takes it seriously anymore, because it's been, you know, the word has been used too much. The best example of that is the word racist, for sure. But other words like Nazi or alt-right, those words at this point lost meaning because of people misusing them and just using it for everything. It's a shame, and it's an insult to the people that actually died as a result of, you know, of Nazi Germany all those years ago. It's an absolute insult to them. Fuck. Well. But I suppose not everyone knows history now, is that right? This is why I believe history is important. Actual history. Elite Exorcist Miko streams for the next 3 months? Nah, we can finish it before that. Because there's not that many stages in the game. Right now, I've already beaten all the stage 1 bosses. I've beaten half of the stage... well, wait. Half of the city bosses. I still need to beat 4 winter bosses, winter stage bosses, and 4 castle stage bosses, and that's it. So basically there's like 10 bosses left for us to beat. But I think today is just not a good day. The internet is not doing too good. You know, my connection is still trash. I am not playing my best today either. Definitely not as skilled as I was in the previous stream. So perhaps just today wasn't to be. I could be just slightly sleep deprived. I am like 3 days in a row with 7 hours of sleep, which to me is not good enough. I usually need my minimum 8. Is the skills issue? Could be, but I was playing better last stream. I was definitely playing better last stream. I got through many bosses. Last stream I got through Corone, I got through Polka. What else did I get? I got through another one, but I forgot. I got through Kyla. Almost beat Luna. I was doing much better. You know what? I'm gonna fight Luna after this, just to see how I'm doing. If I really did learn how to fight her. I need a change in music. That's all. I like this music, but like, we're listening to it all the time. 7 hours sleep in 3 days, luxury. I really cannot function without my 8 hours. I really struggle. And this is not my most debuffed. I get more debuffed if I get less than 6 hours. As in, I would be playing even worse right now. I've always been like this since I was a kid. Always been an issue with me. It's why I would my classes would be me resisting the urge to sleep. And it still is in university like that, actually. With the exception of days where I might not have classes in the morning, that is. Because I can sleep more. I'm just someone who needs a lot of sleep, I suppose. But maybe that's also why I am able to do decently well at anything I want to do. You know, even in university, for example, I excel more easily than people who work like 3 times as hard as me. And I noticed that because I had to participate in like these exams for my current course, right? And I passed the exams. There were only like 2 slots in, but somehow they allowed me to get in, even though I was the 3rd, highest scorer. Here's the thing that I did not know. I didn't know you actually had to study for that exam. You know, apparently the university provided you with materials for you to study, you know, a few days before the actual exams, and I wasn't aware of that. So I didn't study at all. I just winged it with the knowledge I already had. And apparently, you know, the 2 people that scored higher than me, I ended up befriending them. They're my friends now. And they told me that they worked really hard, really hard, you know, to study, to get in. And it kind of made me feel bad because damn, I just got them winged it. And I did pretty well. Because my score is very similar to theirs. And in the classes that we have together, shared, I ended up being the one helping them. Because I noticed whenever I need to learn something, I just go check it out. Boom. I know it now. Somehow I don't forget that thing. It's weird. My memory works in mysterious ways. For some things, I forget things very easily. But then for other things, I remember everything. It's really weird. Like, I tend to forget what I'm doing a lot of the times. Like, I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say. But then, I go read, like, a Wikipedia page about, like, something in Japanese history, and somehow I can tell you exactly everything the Wikipedia page was talking about, including dates and names and everything. And I don't understand why. Why for some things it's so easy, but for other things it's so hard for me. Because, for example, a lot of the times I have things that I want to do, that I need to do, and I forget those things. I forget what I ate, I just ate. Things like that. My memory works in mysterious ways. It's kind of like the same in video games. I tend to be a fast learner in video games whenever I really want to get into it. And I can do so without needing to dedicate as much time as other people would. Like, I remember I had friends that were hard stuck silver in League of Legends. Meanwhile, I always played League casually. And then one day I decided, you know what, I'll play a little bit more. And I started taking it a little bit more seriously by watching like coaches and all that. Coaching sessions and all that on YouTube. And I started playing like a little bit more games than usual. Instead of playing my usual 2 games per day, I would play like 4. And suddenly, oh look, I'm gold. And I got it in like a week. Now gold is not really that anything impressive, right? I never went further than gold in any game, by the way. Every time I play a competitive game, I get to gold and then I stop playing rank. Usually because there's no more rewards after gold, right? Like in League, it was like that. You get a skin when you get to gold and that's it. So okay, I'm not gonna get it anymore. But the reason why, I'm gonna be honest, it's because I never have really a big incentive to go past gold. I really would love to participate in an actual like content creator tournament one day. Because I feel like that would give me like the incentive that I need to actually start, you know, taking like a competitive game more seriously. Like Apex, like League, like Street Fighter or Guilty Gear, something like that, right? Because I never go that extra mile, because I feel like, for what, right? But whenever I see, you know, the V-Cycle tournaments, right? And I see everyone, you know, work really hard to improve their play for the day of the tournament, it's that, I feels like, damn, I wish I could be there to, you know, in one of those tournaments. So that I can, you know, go all out and do my best to learn. That would be the incentive that I need. A rivalry is what I really need. Rivalries really incentivize me to do better. I usually sleep for 8 hours. Some days I sleep for 14 hours for some no reason. I ended up having that a few days ago. Using Pekura's weapon against her. How dare you using my spells against me, Potter? Yeah. Don't go too hard on games if you are not serious about this. It's more so because I have a lot of fun trying hard. I am someone who has fun trying hard in games. I just need like an incentive to do so. To go like an extra mile. Because I never commit too much. Precisely because I don't have a reason for it, right? And I want a reason. Whether it being me having a rivalry with someone else, or me being part of some tournament. when I was new at League, I used to always have 1v1s with my friends. And the guy that got me into League, he would beat me up every time. But I would love doing 1v1s against him, because I felt like the 1v1s are a good way to learn, right? Eventually, I became better than the guy that introduced me to League, and I would beat him every time. And I would continuously challenge every one of my friends to 1v1s, and, you know, they would usually refuse because, number one, I was better than them, number two, they just didn't want to 1v1, I suppose. But I always enjoyed 1v1s. And I miss that old time back when I started playing League, because back then I feel like the friends that I had back then and me, we had more of a rivalry going on, right? Always trying to become better than each other. And I had a lot of fun with that. That was really fun. I like rivalries in general in games. Because I feel like rivalries are an opportunity to become better at anything. When I started playing chess, it was the same thing. The guy that I used to play chess with would always beat me every time. You know, I was new at chess. And then, eventually, I became better than him at chess, and I would win every time. And then I got good enough to a point where no one wanted to play chess against me anymore. So I no longer had any more rivals. Actually, there was like this one daycare that I used to be in, where I would play chess against the director of the daycare, and he would beat me most of the times. Sometimes I would win, and that was basically my mornings every day. Before I went to school, to middle school, I would like play chess against him. That was fun. I ended up getting really good as a result of that. Good times. That's the problem. Sometimes when you get too good, your friends just don't want to play against you anymore because they don't want to lose. I personally was always the kind that I don't mind losing. If I'm having fun with the game because it's a fun game, I don't mind losing. Because I see the losing as an opportunity to become better. That's where the rivalry comes from, you know? It was the same thing when I played Pokemon competitively in school, back in high school. I had a rivalry with a friend of mine, but then I started winning too much, and then the rivalry kinda ended. It's sad. All my rivalries end up... I'm stomping them. That's why nobody wants to play with me anymore. Well, I'd say to me it's the opposite. I enjoy playing against you precisely because you tend to be really good at games. Like I said, to me, I see that as an opportunity to improve. Because that's how I got good at a lot of things. By getting stomped by people that were better than me, which would force me to become better. And then I would catch up to them. That's why I'm very rivalry-oriented, for that reason. Hey, place a bet for fun. How many streams will it take you to beat the remaining bosses? I mean, if everything was going well, I think I could have finished today. At most, 2 more streams. At the least, 1 more stream. I think I can do it within 1 or 2 streams. I just need to not be in a bad day. If I get a good day, I can do it all at once, probably. Right, let's fight Luna. I want to fight someone else. There we go. Luna, 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 Luna. Yeah, there she is. Luna! This is a fun boss fight. The music is also nice too. Na, hime moriru na 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 na. Sure, let's go with this. And Udin. Udin is very good. Really like Udin. Damn, so many extra items. Guys, it's because it's a stage 3. No. Sure. Go into a coma, see how you fare after coming out of your mad rest. Probably not. I like being conscious. Being conscious is nice. If I didn't have to sleep, I would never sleep. Unfortunately, I have to sleep. It's such a waste of time, though. But unfortunately, I cannot function without it. If I want to have my natural talent to doing things, I need to have my proper sleep, a proper rest. But that's how I can usually function at full capacity and give everything that I have. I really love this song. This song's so good. Being conscious sucks, you have to be alive. I like living though. I enjoy living, it's fun. It has its downsides sometimes, but I believe the pros outweigh the cons, at least for me. I have a bit of a Taoist perspective when it comes to living. I can respect the Buddhists for, you know, wanting to end all suffering and becoming one with the universe, you know, and escaping pleasure, so because without pleasure you also don't suffer. But I have a Taoist perspective of things working in cycles, right? You need pleasure and pain equally to experience, you know, for them to exist. Without pain, there's no pleasure. Therefore, you need to embrace pain sometimes so that you can enjoy the pleasure. Life has its ups and downs, and, you know, things being bad sometimes usually can also mean that things will be better. You just can't let yourself wallow in despair. Sleep is overrated, I know, right? I hope the next stage of human evolution is gonna be not needing to sleep. And I hope I can be alive for that. Somehow, we're gonna have a medicine that allows you to no longer need sleep. But yeah, as Lao Tzu... There's that one saying with Lao Tzu, Confucius and the Buddha, where the Buddha tasted the vinegar of life and found it bitter. And he wanted, you know, he didn't like it, wanted to escape it or something like that. And then Confucius tasted the vinegar of life and he felt like it was too disorderly or something like that. I forgot the saying, sorry. Too disorderly and needed, you know, it needed order. Meanwhile, Lao Tzu, he tasted the vinegar of life and he enjoyed it for what it was. Or something like that. In general, I think I tend to have a Taoist perspective in a lot of things. I am a big fan of reading the Tao Te Ching. It's a great philosophy book. Somehow written so many years ago, and yet a lot of things still apply to today. Realism and nihilism. You're talking about Nietzsche's nihilism specifically, or a different kind of nihilism? I say this because nihilism, I've seen a lot of, you know, people that misunderstand nihilism. In the sense that they see nihilism as like a doomer thing, when that's not at all what nihilism was, you know, according to Nietzsche. You know, having utmost freedom, not having a purpose inherent in life means you have the freedom to make whatever purpose for yourself. Nietzsche was a very optimist, actually. He had a very terrible, shitty life. But he was a big positive guy who always tried to do good for society and the people around him. Even if life was not good to him, he was still like, you know, a good person. Absolutely nothing matters. There is no objective good or evil. All things are predetermined outside of our free will. Okay. Shit. Yeah. There are some people that, you know, tend to take a doomer, like, perspective from that, for example. While others take a more positive, optimistic perspective from that. Personally, I can share that point of view, actually, you know, that nihilistic point of view about meaning. I do share that as well to a certain extent. But I tend to take a more optimistic point of view from it. That if nothing really matters, then I'm truly free to make out of myself whatever I want. Whatever meaning I make for myself is just as valid as any other meaning. Freedom can be both, you know, a blessing and a curse depending on who you ask. Because to some people, not having like an actual meaning inherent in life is a very scary thing. Some people cannot really exist with their freedom. We have the illusion of free will, so does it really matter if it exists or not? Just have fun? I mean, who knows? I'm a bit neutral when it comes to if we have really free will or not. I'd like to believe we have. But I don't even know. I can't really affirm it. You watch a movie, you get invested in the story. It's not real, there are no real stakes, it's predetermined. We still get a kick out of it. That's like life. You know, I once wrote a short story like that. One day I'll have to showcase you guys my short stories. One day. But I wrote a short story with that as a theme. Except I used the theater as a metaphor rather than a movie. But that's because of my theater experience. Alright. Let's see, what else can we talk about? There's a lot of topics you can choose from. Quite a lot of them. Alright, we were talking about competitive games and getting better and all that. Because I need sleep, but sleep is also what allows me to like excel at anything I want to do. I mean, everything that I learned on YouTube, I learned by myself. By watching tutorials and mimicking others. That's how I learn a lot of things. And it usually doesn't take long until I can start getting the hang of things. Video games had the same thing. University is the same thing to me as well. Although I probably could have had better grades if only I applied myself. I just don't want to. But it's still enough to have a passing grade, and sometimes have really good grades. In fact, in the first semester, when I was, you know, slightly, you know, more focused in uni, I remember the first semester in this course, it was the one that I was very much away from YouTube for a long time. I mean, okay, not counting like the most recent one, but that one is for different reasons. That one is because I was working on the Aqua video. But not counting this one, the previous year, it was because I was focusing more on university back then. A little bit more, not too much, but I was putting a little bit more of an effort. I ended up with an average of 16 out of 20, which was not bad at all. It's really good. If I had fully dedicated myself to uni, could have probably gotten better. Imagine focusing on education. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't personally think university is for me. In another life, perhaps, I would be a great academic. But in the path that I've chosen, I don't actually think it's really for me. obviously, I'm mostly in it because, you know, of pressures. Because I'm a bit pressured to it. But also because there are some things that I do want about this course. It could help. Obviously, the Japanese classes that I have are, you know, very important to me. So I'm sticking with them until the end. I don't think I'll ever actually finish this course. I might. But I'll at least take away from it all the stuff that I think will be interesting to know. I've learned a lot about Asia from my course. A lot about history, and that's probably my highlight. I learned a lot about China that I would never learn otherwise. I learned a lot about Korea as well, and a lot of things like that. I really enjoyed that. I have no regrets. But I'm starting to run out of things that I find interesting in my course. You know, I'm starting to run out. I've done everything related to Japan already. Everything related to Japan is complete. And a lot of the interesting ones about China, I've also completed too. So I think I'm just probably gonna be doing all the Japanese classes all the way to the end, and if I find that I'm satisfied, I might quit and drop out again. Dropping out for the second time, but for different reasons. Last time it's because I didn't like the course. This time it's because I feel like I gained all the benefit that I wanted out of it. The actual paper that I get at the end is not really that big of a deal for me. Especially not that course. That course doesn't really help you for much. You know, it's not gonna help me really much. It's a bit of a useless degree. Unless you really go all in, like getting a PhD, that is. That's like the only exception. But I have no intention of doing that. Or getting a master's or anything. No, I have no intention of that. Especially with YouTube, you know. YouTube kinda showed me a different way, you know? Showed me that if I really apply myself to YouTube, I think I can make something out of this that I never expected. I would like to make a living off of YouTube one day. That's why for this year, I vowed to make it as a goal for 2025 that I'm gonna focus on increasing my output. I will increase the amount of videos that I'm gonna be putting out. I'm not gonna do any big ass projects. I'm gonna focus on like my usual length of videos, and I'm, you know, with me having completed the Aqua video, which was a huge ass video, I feel like ready to go back to my old routine and like do way more. A 10-minute video to me now doesn't feel like nothing. With the Pippa guide, I am taking a little bit longer than I wanted because I'm ensuring the script is good. Because I feel like, you know, screwing up a Pippa guide script is very easy. Because I think Pippa is one of those VTubers, if you're not careful how you talk about her, it's very easy to misrepresent her. And I don't want to do that. So I'm being extra careful with the scripting of this video. Because I don't want to misrepresent her. I mean, I already know there's gonna be people that are gonna hate me for making a video about her in general, but I don't care about those people. Those are not my audience. Those are not my audience, and you know, I'd like to stay true to myself. And like who I like. And I like Pippa. I disagree with her sometimes, but I don't expect to agree with people every time. In fact, whenever I meet someone, I expect that I will disagree with them at some point. By default, I always expect disagreements with people. But I can coexist with them like that. But I really like Pippa, and I have a lot of respect for her. I have a lot of respect for her, so I want to make a video about her. Feel a strong desire to go to college, even if it's not financially advantageous. I mean, if you want to do it, you should do it. I think as long as you're doing something that you want, that's what matters. As long as it's something you really want to do yourself, you can do it without regrets. I always find it better to do something rather than not doing it and then regretting it not doing it. I feel like inaction, at least to me, inaction usually tends to feel more regrettable than action. That's just how I feel it personally. If there's one thing that I regret, is not capitalizing more on YouTube when the Kyla guide was exploding. The Kyla and the Tenma guide both were exploding like crazy. You know, at the beginning of 2024. I regret not capitalizing on that. Because I was focusing on university back then. But that's fine, we'll get back there. I'm confident. I'm feeling really good about the future. I'm feeling really good about what I can do now. So I'll be taking 2025 head on. Hopefully fortune will be on my side. Indeed. Ouch. So yeah, one day I have some aspirations for the future. Some of them are more realistic than others. Others, well, they vary, I suppose. Ever since I got into the JP scene, I've made it like a dream of mine to be a part of that community, you know? Of one day participating in a VCR event myself, or something like that. I would love it. And I guess I would be simping for literally everyone, like everyone. That would be like Ollie, but literally for everyone. There we go. I just really like the vibe. It's very, you know, it feels very like chill. But for that I need to learn Japanese. My Japanese is still flawed. I know the basics. I can have basic conversations. But it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm slightly at the end of beginner level and starting to enter intermediate level, but it's not good enough. There's still a lot that I do not know. If I were to talk in Japanese, I would have to do like passion Japanese. There we go. But honestly, VTubers have helped me a lot with my Japanese. Because you pick up a word here and there. My pronunciation especially improved a lot because of, you know, Japanese, of VTubers. Nice, there we go. And once I learn Japanese, I'll be able to learn more about Japanese VTubers that are not clipped as much. There are a lot of Japanese VTubers that I love to make videos about, but unfortunately they have no translations about them. So I can't gather the information that I need. That won't be an issue. Once I can, you know, understand them myself. Right now I'm still very much at the mercy of translators and clippers. But one day I hope not be anymore. Then I can make my own clips. I tried doing some actually. In the Aqua video, I did some of my own clips actually. Well, I mean, the Aqua video was probably the video that I did that used the most actual stream footage, not clips of all videos that I've done in my channel. Which is basically what I'm gonna be doing more from now on. But there were some moments that I translated myself. Like that chase between Pecora and Aqua, I translated myself. Yes, bit by bit I start becoming more able. For simple things at least. So one day we'll go further beyond. I mean, I learned English. Japanese shouldn't be too difficult, right? There was a time I was learning German and French as well. I still remember a little bit of both. German was a lot of fun. I'd like to learn German again one day. I like German a lot. And I also definitely will resume my Chinese learning at some point. I interrupted it to focus on Japanese only for now. But I'd like to learn Chinese. Mandarin specifically, I suppose. Since it's the one that's more widespread. The best German word will be Bapfeigesicht. I actually have no idea what that word is. Bapfeigesicht. There's a lot of German words that I find funny. Punchable face. Oh. There we go. Aha. Damn, these remixes is so good of this song. Really. I've heard the original song, the original version, and yeah, the song just feels like a boss fight song. It's perfect for boss fights. And this remix is amazing in that sense. It makes the fights very intense. It also does a trope that I really enjoy. I like it when intense songs have like a calm section to them. Trail's final bosses do it a lot, where there's like epic orchestral music, but then there's like a more emotional, calm section in it, before going back full hype. Love it. I mean, Trail's final bosses in general are amazing, but that trope is one that I really, really love. The next Trails game is gonna be released very soon. Next month. Can't wait. The remake is gonna come later than I expected. I thought it was gonna be January, but apparently it's gonna be in October, I think. I'm gonna stream the remake when it comes out. I've been wanting to stream Trails for a long, long time, so I can share my passion with it with everyone. The remake is a great opportunity. Even though I kinda also want to stream the original one though, because I like the original one too. But the remake is looking amazing, and I think I'm gonna gush out about it a lot, and I want people to see me hyped. Because every Trails game, I am super hyped playing it. But I'm not gonna play the recent games without playing the older ones first, right? Because every game is connected with each other, so... Like, if I were to jump to stream the most recent Trails game now, it would be like, you know, for you guys it would be like starting to watch The Lord of the Rings by the last movie. You would know what the hell is going on. And there's like 10 games before the most recent one. So I'm gonna start with the remake. It was a pleasure to see you play Engage. So hopefully you'll be able to see that more once I play the remake. With Trails, I would really love to stream the most recent ones too, but again, it's just that you guys wouldn't get the story. And it would be super spoiler as well. Because Trails is very easy to spoil. They make callbacks all the time to older games. And old characters reappear and all that. And I myself, you know, playing those games, I want to make references to past games, so that's why I don't do it. But the remake is going to be great. I'm going to be playing the remake on stream. You guys are going to get to see me gush about the remake. You know, I have a lot of love for Trails and for those characters, you know. Even though my favorite games are Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. Azure and Zero are my favorite games, but the main character of the first and second games, Estelle Bright, she is my favorite main character in the series. You know, the humble origins of the Trails series is always really nice. I have a lot of nostalgia. Well, nostalgia of 4 years, I suppose. Because I got into Trails 4 years ago. But it is wonderful. And getting to share that. Because Trails, you know, it's not the most popular JRPG series. It's getting more popular, I have to admit. It's starting to get more popular, finally. But, you know, it's not more popular than other more popular JRPGs like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, Xenoblade, you know, and others like that. But I want to share Trails with the world because, I mean, I really want Falcom to continue doing well, so that the games continue to be good. I have never been disappointed by a Trails game. I have played how many games? Trails in the Sky, the first chapter. Trails in the Sky, second chapter. Trails in the Sky, the third. Trails from Zero. Trails to Azure. Trails of Cold Steel 1. Trails of Cold Steel 2. Trails of Cold Steel 3. Trails of Cold Steel 4. Trails into Reverie. And Trails through Daybreak. And now Daybreak 2 is releasing. So I've played 11 games, and I'm going to be playing the 12th game in the series next month. Every single one of those games has not disappointed me at all. Every single one of them have been amazing. Actual top-tier JRPG material. Something that, to me, stands at the peak of quality when it comes to JRPG world-building, storytelling, and characters. And even gameplay, because the gameplay just keeps getting better and better. It's so good. But it is legit some of the best world building I've ever seen in gaming in general. Not just for JRPGs, in gaming history. Is amazing. The characters are so likable. The writing quality is amazing. Like, every time I go back to like other JRPGs that are not as good, I cannot enjoy them anymore. I used to be able to enjoy, you know, more mid JRPGs in the past. Now whenever I go back to them, it's like, fuck. This dialogue quality is just not as good, man. Ever since I got into Trails, I just cannot enjoy mid dialogue anymore. Because the dialogue quality of Trails is that good. And we're gonna see so many cool scenes from Trail. I'm so excited. I cannot wait until later in the year. So I can like fanboy, go full fanboy. If you thought I was hyped about Engage, oh boy. Prepare to see me fanboy playing Trails. Oh boy, and from after I play the remake, I'll probably play the other games after that. Falcom, they've said that they'll remake the other games in the Sky trilogy if the first game sells well. But I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna immediately jump into the second game, the original second game. I mean, to be fair, I feel like it would be a disservice to you guys if I didn't immediately play the second one. I mean, no spoilers, but the first game ends on a cliffhanger. So, do you know? There's gonna be that pressure to play the next one, because you guys will want to see what's gonna happen next. So I'll play immediately the second one. And by the way, cliffhangers in Trails, it's quite common. They do it a lot. Usually in setup games. Games that are setting up for like a game that goes all out. Usually the first game in every arc tends to be like that. Not always. I actually feel like Daybreak didn't do any cliffhangers. I thought it was going to do one, but it didn't. I'm actually kind of thankful for that, because it means I can survive the wait. But I really feel bad for the original Trails fans back in 2004 in the West. They had to wait 4 years before the next Trails game was released. Translated. The translation of the first Trails was a fight all in its own. Because the guy that was translating the game almost, you know, offed himself. It was too much. It was too much. It was a lot of work. Fortunately, he was able to, you know, give the work to someone else to finish. And it was finished. And to think that Trails games these days are bigger than back then. You know, they are a 100 hours plus experience. Welcome to game development. Yeah, but translating Trails was a huge work, because Trails games have so much dialogue And it was a solo project. That one person was translating everything on their own. A Trails game, right? So with so much dialogue, 100 hours plus of like story. And that's not even counting all of the like the side content, all of the NPC dialogue. And let me tell you, if you don't know about Trails, the NPCs have a lot of dialogue. Every single NPC is a unique named character, and their dialogue constantly changes with the minimum advance of the plot. Literally. Sometimes you might, it might be daytime, right? And you see an NPC who's gonna fetch their kids off of school or something. And then the story advances and it's now nighttime. And then you see that same NPC now at home with their kids giving them dinner. And then it's the next day and the NPCs are doing something else entirely with different dialogue again. And then time progresses slightly, right? And now they have different dialogue again, right? That's Trails. Every single Trails game, from the first one all the way to the recent ones, like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of NPCs, all of them with unique dialogue that constantly changes throughout the game. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, after like another arc, the dialogue changes. No. It's not after arc. It's like literally small thing in the plot happens. Boom. New dialogue for every NPC. So like, as a translator, you're gonna have to translate all of that. Everything. Even in the old games, the chests that you open have unique messages, unique dialogue. They would put like inside jokes inside the chests. It was really funny. They would call it Trails to the Chest. I loved it. I hope they bring back the chest messages back, please. It's not the remake is not going to be complete if we don't bring the chest messages back. It was awesome. They didn't need to do that at all, but they did. And it was awesome. They would like put puns in the chests. It was so good. But yeah, it's there's a lot of love that the devs put into Trails. A lot of love. And that's what won me over. In that, when I played it the first time, I was like, it's a nice game, right? But I wasn't that big into it. But the more I played, the more I was like, man, I'm really enjoying this game. And then I got to the end of the game. Wow, I'm having such a good time. And then the game ended. I was like, wait, no, it can't end like this. I gotta play the next game immediately. And I did. And oh boy, what a journey that second game was. That second game became immediately my favorite JRPG, like, instantly. And I thought nothing would surpass it. Because the second game played off the first game so well. It was such an epic journey, that second game. The first game is a simple setup, coming of age story of two teenagers, learning about the world. But the second game is the classic, epic, JRPG shenanigans. It was amazing. But the second game is only as good as it is because of all the setup the first game did. The setup of the first game was genius, was masterfully done. Without playing the first game, the second game would never hit as hard. And I always thought that nothing is going to beat that second game. Until I played my favorite, my current favorite, Trails to Azure, which is a sequel to Trails from Zero. Trails from Zero is the fourth game in the series, which is the beginning of a new arc. Right? Different country, different main characters, same world though. And it's slightly like a few months after the end of the first three games. Right? I'm not going to spoil anything, by the way. Don't worry. No Trails spoilers here. Everything I'm explaining is basically the same thing that veterans tend to explain to people whenever they're trying to convince them to play the games. But yeah, Trails from Zero was the fourth game, and man, was that game so good. And then after that, you have Trails to Azure, which is the game that plays off the setup that Trails from Zero did. Whoa. Trails to Azure is amazing. Like, Azure is so good. Actual peak JRPG. It's one of my favorite video games ever. It's just so good. Actually surpassed Trails in the Sky second chapter. Somehow. Trails to Azure just, boom, obliterated every other game. Completely. It was so good. From beginning to end. I never thought that Politics no Kiseki would be so fucking hype. You know, I never thought that a trade conference would be so hype. They somehow make like the most mundane things be super fucking hype. It was amazing. I love it. I loved it so much. And every single Trails game since then, you know, they might not be my favorites, but they're still extremely high quality. I feel like even the least good Trails game is still like a top tier JRPG by like compared to many other JRPGs. Like even the worst in the series is like top tier if you compare it to the industry as a whole and the many other JRPGs out there. It's like amazing. In my opinion, Trails of Cold Steel, the first Trails of Cold Steel is the weakest Trails game, in my opinion. And yet, I love that game so much. It's so good. It's so good. In general, the Cold Steel arc, I find it weaker than the other arcs, but yet it's still so good. It's amazing. I was so hyped playing it. So yeah. I love Trails. I love Trails. I want to share that love of Trails with the world, and hopefully I can contribute to the game becoming slightly more popular, so that the game can start, you know, being bought more, and Falcom will have more money to make even better games. And they might one day do global releases, please. I mean, I know it's difficult because there's like a billion dialogue to translate, but still though, you know, one can hope, right? Right? Because right now in the West, we are 2 games behind Japan. We're gonna get Daybreak 2 next month, but there's already another one that's been released in Japan called Kai no Kiseki. It doesn't have an English title just yet. Kai no Kiseki is already released in Japan. And that's the most current game right now in the series as a whole. I don't know anything about it because I avoid trail spoilers like the plague. I avoid anything. I even avoid going into the community because I'm that paranoid about spoilers. I don't even watch trailers because I watched one trailer once, you know, for like Daybreak 2, and I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna watch a trailer ever again, because I feel like whenever they show me characters from previous games coming back in the trailer, I feel like I would prefer seeing that, you know, by myself in the game, because I would be more hyped. Because every time an old character comes back, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm like fanboying and being super hyped. So I no longer watch like Trails remakes. I mean Trails trailers. Trails trailers. That's hard to say. Trails trailers. Trails trailers. Trails trailers. Trails trailers. Trails trailers. Okay, you can't actually. It's not that difficult. Never mind. I feel this. I'm the same way with Bloodborne. Still mostly unspoiled despite so long since release. I really want to play Bloodborne. I'm still hoping for a PC release. Don't make me have to take not so, you know, good measures, PlayStation. I want to buy the game, release it on PC, and you'll have my money. You know? Please, PlayStation, Sony, don't make me have to sail the high seas. I haven't done it. Don't make me do it. I want to give you my money. I want to buy it legit. You have to give me the way, though. If it's not on Steam, I'm not buying it. You have to put it on Steam, Sony. Put it on Steam already. Just play Bloodborne. I want to. I love Bloodborne. I've seen Bloodborne so much. I know it's going to be the kind of thing I love. I love, you know, the Soulsborne, you know, gameplay. I love, you know, the aesthetics. I love cosmic horror. That game is right up my alley. It's right up my alley. So, like, please, Sony, allow me to buy the game. But on PC, because I refuse to play it anywhere else other than PC. I'm not gonna buy a console on purpose for Bloodborne. The only company that can make me, you know, buy a console to play their exclusives is Nintendo. They're the only ones. They're the only ones that can make me do that, because I'm a huge fan of their IPs. especially Fire Emblem. No other company can make me buy their console. No other. Especially because over the years, I have become even more and more of a PC gamer. And as a result, I play more PC games than I used to, play console games. Like, even though I'm a Nintendo fanboy, the amount of Nintendo games I play and buy these days is much lesser compared to in the past, because I've been playing more PC games in general. So that's why. You know what? Let's go to the shrine. Let's get some background music at least. We may as well. This is now a Zatsudan stream, everyone. I'm not paying much attention to the game. I'm getting my ass kicked all the time. I'm playing like trash. So this is now a Zatsudan stream, I guess. So we'll be having like, you know, the characters in the screen now. With Miko's original song playing in the background. But yeah. So I feel like in the future, I might become even more of a PC gamer. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be complete a PC-only gamer, because again, I'm super invested in Nintendo IPs, like Fire Emblem especially. Honestly, Fire Emblem is a reason why I still buy Fire Emblem, Nintendo consoles. Is because of Fire Emblem. Because I'm that big of a fan of Fire Emblem. If it wasn't for Fire Emblem, I maybe wouldn't buy the Switch. That's why I'm saying, if they announce a Fire Emblem game for the Switch 2, which I'm pretty sure is gonna happen in the next Direct, I'm buying the Switch 2. For Fire Emblem specifically. But that's because I'm an ultra mega fan of Fire Emblem. Right? When it comes to Sony and Bloodborne, I know I'm gonna like Bloodborne. I know I am gonna like it. However, I am still a bigger Fire Emblem fan. My level of fan of Bloodborne isn't there like I am for Fire Emblem. A Fire Emblem is one of the few IPs that I can confidently buy it day one without needing any prior research. Very few games I do that with. You know, I am someone who tends to be very careful what games I spend my money on. I do not buy games lightly. And I always like for my money to be worth, the games to be worth my money. So whenever there's a game I might be interested in, I always like to look at reviews, look at gameplay, and see if the game is good before I buy it. And I do this with most games that I play. With two exceptions. Exception number 1, Fire Emblem. Exception number 2, Trails. These are the only IPs that I buy day one without hesitation. Even Nobunaga's Ambition, I do not buy day one. Because there have been some stinkers in the past. I do not like Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi. Not from Soft Games. I'm getting there. I'm getting there with FromSoft. Even if I become a mega fan of FromSoft, I will never buy Bloodborne outside of PC, because Bloodborne does not belong to FromSoft, it belongs to Sony. Even if FromSoft did it, the IP itself belongs to Sony, and I rather, support, something that actually belongs to FromSoft. So that Sony will finally realize that more people would play the game if only they'd release it on PC. Regardless, FromSoft is getting there. It's probably going to become there after I play Elden Ring one day. But that said, with Fire Emblem, I buy every game day one. Fire Emblem gameplay is always a lot of fun. I love it. The story is hit and miss, but the gameplay is always stellar. Therefore, I love Fire Emblem. I play for the gameplay mostly. So the story sometimes being bad is not really an issue for Fire Emblem to me. Engage story was not the best. It was a weak story. But you know what? Engage has the best gameplay in the series, in my opinion. It's the most fun game. And to me, that's like 100% worth my money, because I play for gameplay. The replayability is insane. It's just such a polished gameplay experience. For Trails, I also buy it day one, as soon as it's available in the West, without hesitation. because no Trails game has ever disappointed me. The story is always amazing. The gameplay keeps getting better. I want Falcom to get my money. Recently, I've also started getting into Ys, right? I'm starting to become an overall Falcom fan, even outside of Trails. So I'm also starting to get into Ys. There will be a day where perhaps one day I will start buying Ys games day one as well. And I also want to play the other Falcom JRPGs like Tokyo Xanadu and others. Overall, I just want to buy and play more Falcom games, because I'm really starting to become a Falcom fan. Their games are awesome. The soundtracks are amazing too, and you know, hey, new JRPG came out. Great, more music options for my videos. And Falcom is pretty chill with the usage of their music, by the way. They're pretty chill with the OST usage. That's part of the reason why I tend to use their OSTs without without hesitation as well. Not only because I love the OSTs, which they do it themselves with their own team, but also because they are very, very chill with that. Which is nice. Which is really, really nice. It really sucks whenever I personally find that if you are a video game, developer, you should just allow people to use your soundtrack. I think it's been proven that it helps your game more, because a lot of people find interest in games because of music. I am one of them, by the way. There's been so many games that I started playing because the soundtrack was amazing. Touhou was like that, Nier Automata was like that. In general, Yoko Taro games were like that, because of music at first. Undertale was because of Lily Pichu, but partly because of the music as well. Guess what? Toby Fox is completely chill with people using his music. And that's why YouTubers everywhere started using Toby Fox music everywhere. And guess what? Undertale is popular because everyone knows about it. Everyone finds out about it. And guess what? Toby Fox is working with Nintendo. He's working with Game Freak in Pokemon. And that's why the OST for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is absolutely amazing. You can feel the Toby Fox influence in the game, in the soundtrack of the games. So again, I think if you're a composer, or you're a publisher who owns, if you're a studio that works with video games, just allow people to use your music. There's gacha games, a lot of gacha game, companies that literally incentivize people to use their OSTs. Precisely for that reason. That's why you see a lot of people use Genshin Impact music, because Hoyoverse is completely chill with people using the soundtrack of their games. And there's many other game companies like that too. Many others. Some of them are not. Sometimes Nier music ends up being copyright claimed. Studio Monaca hasn't understood yet that it would be more beneficial for them to just allow it. I literally started playing Yoko Taro games because of the music. If it wasn't the music, I would never have played it. And I can say that because I was being recommended lots of videos of Nier when it came out, about Nier Automata. And I always was like, why is YouTube recommending me this? I don't like sci-fi, I don't like robot stuff. Until I heard the soundtrack that was being put in someone else's video. And I looked it up. Oh, this is from that one game. Holy shit, the soundtrack is amazing. Maybe I'm gonna look up a little bit more about the game. And I did. And then I looked up about every Yoko Taro game after that, and I became a Yoko Taro fan. It was all because of the soundtrack. And actually, that's how I got into Fire Emblem as well. I became a Fire Emblem fan because of the music, at first. And I can tell you exactly what video it was and what creator it was. And there's this one YouTuber that I watched for a long time called Trinimortal. Trinimortal is a YouTuber that he used to do a lot of League. He still does League now, but there was a period of time where he didn't do League anymore. Because he burnt out. Because he has this series called the Beat League series, Where in the past it was about beating League, you know, beating one game with every character and every skin. Now it's about getting to Mastery, at Mastery 10 with every champion. I really like his videos. I really like his series. I've been watching him for years now. And he always uses a lot of, video game soundtrack in his videos. And there was this one video. It was the I'm gonna beat League of Legends Annie, right? It was the Annie episode, which was an amazing episode, by the way. It was a huge episode. He hates Annie. He hates any immobile champion in the game. So it was a struggle, but he made that video so stellarly. The edits were great. And there is this one section of the video where he plays End of All, which is the final boss theme of Fire Emblem Fates. And when I heard this song, I had to pause and see if he puts the name of the song somewhere, and he does. He puts the name of the songs in his description. I usually put it at the top left corner of my videos. Now I'm starting to also going to shift into putting it in the description as well. Because people keep asking me about songs even though I put them in the video itself, so I'm gonna put it in the description from now on as well. But yeah, I looked up what that song is, and I saw, oh, it's from Fire Emblem. Huh, good soundtrack. Let me check what this game's all about. I already had heard about Fire Emblem Awakening in the past, but I wasn't too interested at first. But after that soundtrack, I needed to look more. So I became a Fire Emblem fan. I decided, wow, I watched an entire Fire Emblem Fates Birthright playthrough, and I decided, for my first game, I want to buy Conquests. But I've heard this game is really hard and it's for veterans. So I'm gonna go back and play the older games first. So I played Sacred Stones first. I played Binding Blade. I played Blazing Sword. I played Path of Radiance. And then I played half of Radiant Dawn. And then I got, Conquest. And I played Conquest. And then I returned to Radiant Dawn. That's how I became a Fire Emblem fan. All because of the music. If it wasn't the music, I wouldn't have been a Fire Emblem fan today. So yeah, and this story repeats itself in many other games that I've played. Many other games. And I'm not the only one like that. I know there's a lot of people that are like me, that become interested in buying a game if they like the soundtrack. I know. I have a friend who's like that. Zero is like that as well. And I have a bunch of other friends that are like that too. And I've seen it on the internet as well. That's why I hope that maybe by me using so much Trails music in my videos, hopefully people will gain an interest in the series as well. In the Trails series. Because they see, ooh, this is a cool song, I wonder where it's from. And they might journey themselves into the games. Which honestly, they're gonna be in for an amazing journey. For real. And that's how they should take it as a journey. Not as a, you trying to reach an end goal. If you go into Trails with that mentality, I'm gonna reach an end goal, you're not gonna enjoy Trails. You need to take it as a journey that's gonna be long, but you're gonna enjoy every second of it. You take it at your pace, you take it slow, you enjoy and immerse yourself in the world. And don't feel like you need to be in a rush. You don't have to, rush to the end. Trust me, by the time you get to the end of this series, you're gonna wish you never were at the end. You never wish the journey was over. So just enjoy the journey as it goes while it lasts. Because Trails is not gonna last forever. And eventually, someone that starts playing is gonna be caught up with the releases. I mean, we know that Trails is already past its halfway point, according to the devs. So for them to be saying that Trails is past its halfway point means that it's not gonna be forever. Right? There will be one day the story will be completely over. And yeah, I want to see what the ending is going to be like, but I'm not in a rush to see it. I'm not. I'm going to continue enjoying each game as they come out. That's why I also take my time playing them. I don't finish the games fast. Whenever they come out, I play them very slowly, so I can fully enjoy them. So expect my Trails in the Sky playthrough to be very slow as well. Because that's how I enjoy Trail. I'm gonna be talking to every NPC. Every NPC, I'm gonna read their dialogue. Because again, like I told you, every NPC has their own identity and dialogues. Same, I've heard from Oda about One Piece, it was 15 years ago. Oh, really? Actually, that's a pretty good comparison. Trails is the One Piece of video games. And literally, Trails is 20 years old by now. So it literally is the One Piece of video games. That's funny. I don't know. I do think they will eventually finish it though. Because Falcom does not rely on Trails. Falcom has other IPs. And yes, Trails is their most popular IP. But they have other IPs that they continue like expanding upon. So I feel like Falcom is not like reliant on just Trails. Eventually they will want to move for some, you know, something else. I mean, Trails has been going on for 20 years now. Personally, I also believe I want Trails to end at some point. Because I want Trails to end with a bang while the current writers are still in there. You know, better to end it good than like someone else taking over and changing the vision completely. Right? I don't want Trails, everything that's been built up to now, to be tainted, right? That's why I want Trails to eventually end, so that the story is fully complete, and there's no, you know, no bad endings, in the sense that, you know, we could have a lackluster, like, endings, or like those games that end, that die out, because, oh, now the company doesn't make good games anymore, right? I'm very afraid of that. That's why I'm like, I want Trails one day to end. Not anytime soon, but one day. One day. Give me at least 10 more years, at least. At least 10 more years. And then they can finish Trails. And I'll be happy. So yeah. Damn, I want to play Trails. God damn it. On Story of Heroes and Might of Magic. End to end. Because it was bought by... Oh, Ubisoft. And games went to shit, yeah. All you need to say is the name Ubisoft. Because I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. People that used to be fans of old Ubisoft games can relate to that as well. I mean, Assassin's Creed fans right now are not doing too good. So yeah. You know, that's why I feel happy that they're having financial trouble right now. Because it will force them to actually change their approach and go back to making good games. Ubisoft is spread too thin. They have too many games that they're working on at the same time. That's problematic. They need to focus more on few games rather than too many games. Because then the games come out unpolished and not good. Their games used to be really good. They used to be good, and they can still be good. They just need to focus on quality rather than quantity. And actually put their resources in the right places, like making good gameplay, rather than always, you know, obsessing over graphics all the time. Yes, Assassin's Creed Shadows looks gorgeous, but the gameplay is still a bit janky, not gonna lie. I'm hoping that by the time it comes out, the gameplay is gonna be much better. The most recent gameplay trailers was much better than it used to be before. However, I do not like how every time there's combat doesn't take, like, the footage that they show doesn't last longer than 5 seconds. To me, that's a bit worrying. That's a bit worrying to me. Because it means that they're not confident in showing extended gameplay. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, because the game pricing is like, what the hell? I'm not gonna buy that for that price. But I still would like the game to be good. Because it's a samurai game. And I love samurai, as everyone that has been watching me knows. I really do like samurai a lot. Samurai history and all that. So I would rather the game be good. And Ubisoft has not been doing a good job so far when it comes to, you know, their game. Very controversial. But oh well. I still want the game to be good, to do good and succeed. Because I think it's better for everyone if games are good. But if they're not good, then I hope that, you know, becomes a lesson for the company to start changing their ways and focus on what's important. And I think a lot of other gamers can relate. We just want good games. We're just like a consumer. We have a hobby. We like playing games. We just want good games. Having like good graphics and a pretty grass is not necessarily a good game. And I feel like there are a lot of companies that are putting their resources and their priorities in the wrong things. Graphics are secondary to gameplay. Gameplay is king. Gameplay is number one. Games Workshop goes to top 100, the most profit company in the UK, because of the last Warhammer game. What a surprise, it turns out that making quality product for your fans is profitable, I know, right? Look at Baldur's Gate. Look at Elden Ring. Look, From Software even raised salaries for their devs because they're doing amazing with their games. Turns out when you make a good game, people buy it a lot, and then you can afford to pay your workers better, which will in turn motivate your workers to do even better. Isn't that amazing? Some AAA companies need to learn this. They really do. I do think a lot of Western devs, though, have kind of become brainwashed by their corporate environment, though. I'm gonna be honest. Because I've seen a lot of Western devs defend their companies and defend the ways, oh, it has to be this way. I feel like they've become completely brainwashed, though, by their corporate environment, because it does not have to be this way. They could have better. They could have better. And From Software is a good example of that. Hell, Larian is a good example of that, you know, developers of Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah. And definitely, one thing they should not do not insult your audience. Please. I don't know why I'm seeing so many game devs that hate gamers. Like, why? Why? Bro. Do you not see the problem with that? A game dev hating gamers? You're making games for them. No wonder that the games end up being something people don't like. Because you hate them, so you don't understand what they want. Perhaps you should consider a different career choice rather than being a game dev if you hate gamers. Just saying. I don't know. I am not a doomer when it comes to video games, though. I think gaming is in a good spot. We have amazing games coming out every year. And I think it's only gonna get better. 2025, with the games that are gonna be released this year, it's already looking to be an amazing game. February, especially, is stacked with amazing quality games. No wonder that Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed 1 month, because, let's be honest, competition is a bit too fierce right now. I am pretty excited about Ghost of Yotei, though I still need to buy Ghost of Tsushima first. Though the reason why I am slightly more hyped about Ghost of Yotei is because of the historical period. It's the end of the Sengoku period, beginning of the Edo period, which, you know, in case you don't know, the Sengoku period is my favorite period of history in Japanese history. That civil war that took like almost 250 years. I mean, 150 years. 250 years was roughly how long the Edo period lasted. Alright, anyways, I think I'm gonna end it here though. I think that was enough. I'm sorry for today, the stream being so scuffed. Same for the products made from games, like Yakuza. Yeah, the Yakuza live action was not good, huh? Yeah. I don't know why they keep doing this. Yeah, well, we want to make something new. So we forbid our team from playing the original games. If you want to make something new, then why not make something new instead of making a Yakuza adaptation? What the hell? Bro, you're making a Yakuza adaptation, make it Yakuza, don't make something new. Otherwise, you should make something new that's not Yakuza. I don't know, it's happened so often. It happened with The Witcher, happens with Yakuza, happens with like a billion other things. Yeah, I remember you fuming. I understand that. I understand that very much. Anyways, I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm sorry for the stream being so scuffed today. I don't know why it's being so scuffed, but I can't really control it. Internet sometimes just has bad days. The ISPs, they're not doing a good job, let's just say. But hopefully it'll be better next time. And next time I might be higher energy, so I might actually do better. Next stream is gonna be Monday. I want to focus on the Pippa guide for this weekend, so I can actually finish the script. So I guess we'll see each other on Monday, or something like that. Also, why is Ame shining? Why was she shining? I don't know why. Oh, it's the cursor. Never mind. Okay. All right. What is this? Nothing. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop stalling. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for your patience. I'll see you guys next time. Sweet dreams. Bye bye.